Chapter 319. Don't even think of running. Seeing that the zombie general was trying to escape, Xia Ping chased after him. Using the Kunpeng steps, he was like a great rock, controlling the air. His speed was extremely fast, and he quickly caught up. Stop him! Hurry up and stop him! The zombie general shouted, ordering the surrounding skeleton soldiers to rush forward in an attempt to stop Xia Ping. Whoosh! Immediately, hundreds of skeleton soldiers charged forward fearlessly. Some held bone blades, while others held bone shields. Like a small army, they charged forward in a frenzy. Kill! Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light. His hands formed a seal, and his body emitted a huge golden light, like a Buddha. His face also revealed a merciful expression. He struck out with his palm, and in an instant, the sky was filled with golden palm prints, like a Buddha's palm, containing the power to purify the world's impurities. Bang, bang, bang. The hundreds of skeleton soldiers blocking the way couldn't withstand this power at all. As if they were being crushed by a flood, they were all sent flying, and even their bones were smashed into pieces. When the golden light burst out, it was as if they were being burned by the sun. Their bones fell down, and the yin energy maintaining their bodies quickly disappeared, as if they were being purified. Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, Nangong Wu, and Feng Hetung also rushed forward, using exquisite martial skills to attack. One by one, the skeleton soldiers were destroyed with unstoppable momentum. Damn it! The zombie general was scared half to death. He originally wanted to ambush these humans and kill them, and then obtain their corpses to refine his own elite soldiers. But he didn't expect these humans to be so ferocious, especially the young man he was fighting. He was simply a ferocious beast, and he even had a powerful martial skill that could suppress them. How could he fight? There was no way to fight. Dong! Xia Ping punched out again, and from a distance of 100 meters, it landed solidly on the zombie general's body, almost instantly piercing through his chest. Ah! The zombie general screamed, rolling and crawling, following the powerful force. He rolled on the ground like a soccer ball, speeding up his escape. In a few breaths' time, he disappeared on the spot. After that, he ran to a nearby mountain. There was a pitch-black hole in it, and he quickly crawled into it without turning his head back. He went in. Xia Ping immediately frowned. He saw that the cave was dark, and there was a black aura coming out, emitting a dangerous and dark aura. This must be the zombie general's tomb. Nangong Wu said with certainty. It said that these zombies were corroded by the yin qi and slowly transformed into powerful zombies by the power here. They all have the habits of zombies and like to build their own tombs in the mountains. Obviously, this mountain should be the zombie general's lair. However, since this is the zombie general's lair, it must be filled with danger. There must be a powerful army stationed there. She looked very serious. Although it's dangerous, since this is the zombie general's lair, there will naturally be many treasures hidden here. If I can kill the zombie general, I'll definitely be able to obtain a lot of treasures. Xia Ping rubbed his chin and said, "You guys stay here and kill the zombies. I'll enter the graveyard to take a look. Once I'm done with the zombie general, I'll come out and meet up with you guys." As soon as he finished speaking, Xia Ping immediately rushed in. Too reckless. Jiang Yaru and the others were helpless, but there was nothing they could do. They could only wait outside for Xia Ping to come out. Xia Ping went deeper into the cave. He discovered that there were many winding tunnels that seemed to go deep underground. It was like a maze. If an ordinary person were to go in, they would immediately get lost. However, for Xia Ping, who had mastered the 10,000-mile tracking technique, this kind of maze was nothing. As long as he followed the smell of the zombie general, there would definitely be no problems. You dare to trespass into the general's cave? Human, you're seeking death. This is a forbidden area. Without orders, no one is allowed to enter. If outsiders dare to enter, the only path left for them is death. Human, hand over your life. With a boom, blood-red skeletal soldiers immediately rushed out from the huge tunnel. Each of them held a spear in their hands, and it was obvious that they were several times stronger than the skeletal soldiers outside. There were even some zombies. They were even stronger than the blood-red skeletal soldiers. They wore black armor and looked like martial arts masters, emitting a tyrannical martial aura. These zombies were also human elites when they were alive. Although they had died and were turned into zombies by the majestic Yin Chi here, they still retained a trace of their memories from when they were alive. They knew some profound martial arts. Go to hell. Xia Ping looked at the hundreds of zombies and skeletal soldiers. There was no change in his eyes. Suddenly, he let out a roar. Ultimate skill, Heavenly Dragon's music. Immediately, a loud roar shook the area. It was like the roar of a ferocious beast in the forest. It also sounded like thousands of volcanoes erupting at the same time. The condensed sound waves spread out rapidly, and ripples appeared in the air. It was indestructible. This power even contained Xia Ping's spiritual will. Not only could it harm the body, but it could also harm the soul. It was enough to cause great damage to these Yin attribute creatures. Bang bang bang. The power of the sound waves hit the skeletal soldiers and immediately caused great damage. Their soul flames seemed to be extinguished in an instant. They were completely destroyed. With a crash, a large number of blood-red skeletons fell to the ground, turning into a pile of bones. The bodies of the zombies also exploded. Like watermelons, they split into pieces and flew in all directions. These are the Yin energy pearls. When these zombies were all killed by Xia Ping, gray pearls the size of a thumb appeared on the ground. They contained pure energy. They were the Yin energy pearls. It is said that these Yin energy pearls contain pure Yin attribute energy. It is of great benefit to the cultivation of martial artists. They can also be used as the main ingredient of elixirs. There are many benefits. A gray pearl the size of a thumb is worth 1 point. Xia Ping grabbed with his big hand. He suddenly grabbed hundreds of Yin energy pearls, which were worth 100 points. Rumble in the next second, Xia Ping ran the cultivation method in his body. Strong genuine qi wrapped around these Yin energy pearls and refined them in an instant. A pure energy flowed into his body, flowing through his limbs and veins, and into the 5th acupoint. Just a little more, and I can break through to the 6th heaven of the martial artist realm. After absorbing the energy of these Yin energy pearls, Xia Ping immediately felt that his bottleneck had loosened a lot. The genuine qi in his body continued to increase, and the power in his body continued to strengthen. Chapter 320. Boom. Along the way, Xia Ping killed hundreds of blood-colored skeletons and zombies. There were no longer any monsters in this underground tunnel that could stop him. Xia Ping was invincible as he slaughtered his way through. Soon, he arrived at a huge underground palace. The palace was very simple. The walls were carved with pictures of many ferocious beasts. On the ground, there were 5 to 6 bronze coffins that emitted a strong bloody aura. The zombie general that was injured by Xia Ping earlier was also standing in the middle of the palace. It glared at Xia Ping ferociously, emitting boundless rage. Damned human, how dare you barge into my palace and kill so many of my elite subordinates? If you don't die today, I will not rest. The zombie general bellowed angrily. It felt an unprecedented rage. Because of this operation, it had suffered heavy losses. Not only were the soldiers that it had painstakingly gathered killed, but it was also severely injured. One could imagine how furious it was now. What can a stray dog like you do? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back. The zombie general sneered, who told you that I'm the only one here? Bang bang bang. As soon as he finished speaking, the 5 or 6 bronze coffins on the ground immediately opened and broke into pieces with a bang. 5 or 6 tyrannical zombies flew out from the coffins. Their entire bodies were green, and each of them was no weaker than the zombie general. Is it this human? How dare you barge into our great necropolis? You're courting death. Why are we wasting our breath on this human? I can feel the powerful flesh and blood energy in this human. If we can devour him, we will definitely be able to increase our strength greatly. Tisk tsk, since this foolish human dares to court death, let's fulfill his wish. The 5 to 6 green zombies looked at Xia Ping with malevolent expressions. They split into 6 directions and surrounded Xia Ping, not leaving any gaps. Their bodies emitted a terrifying murderous aura. At this moment, the entire palace seemed to be filled with the aura of blood. The ground was corroded by the murderous aura and the stone floor trembled. It was as though it was about to turn into a blood-colored swamp. Kill him. The zombie general bellowed angrily and gave the order. In an instant, the 7 zombies attacked at the same time, exploding with the strength of a fighter's 7th heaven. The entire palace shook as a violent force erupted. Xia Ping's expression was calm. He took a step forward and executed his palm technique, immovable Buddha palm. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In just a breath's time, more than a dozen figures of Xia Ping appeared in the same place. He blasted out his palms in all directions, and dense palm prints appeared in the air. Even his entire body was surrounded by golden light, as if he was a golden Buddha bathed in Buddhist light. Every palm strike contained the power to subdue demons. Boom! The 2 forces collided like a volcano erupting. The 7 zombies screamed in pain. They didn't expect this human to be so powerful. Just his strength alone was not inferior to theirs. What terrified them the most was that the power of this palm technique contained a mighty power that could purify everything. More often than not, when their power came into contact with this palm, their power would be weakened. They weren't a match for the golden palm at all. They were directly struck by the golden palm, and their bodies were sent flying backward, smashing into the surrounding walls. Kacha! Kacha! Immediately, huge human-shaped pits appeared on the wall. Rubble crashed down, and smoke and dust billowed, creating a huge tremor. Damn humans! The zombie general was going crazy. It struggled out of the crater, furious to the extreme, and immediately wanted to counterattack. Its hands turned into sharp claws that were like peerless weapons, and it wanted to rush up and kill. Go to hell. Xia Ping was expressionless. The genuine qi in his body operated to the extreme, and the genuine qi in his 5 acupoints rotated like a spiral. All the muscles in his body were vibrating. He took a step forward and slapped with his palm. Immediately, a huge golden palm blasted out. It was like a swastika symbol, bathed in Buddhist light. This was the power to subdue dragons and subdue demons. It suppressed everything, and the gray cold air in the surroundings rapidly melted. Dong! It was this palm that bombarded the body of the zombie general from a distance of 40 to 50 meters. In an instant, a huge hole was blasted in its chest. The huge Buddhist light corroded its body, and as if it had a life of its own, it surrounded every cell in its body. No, no, no! The zombie general screamed again and again. Its eyes were filled with extreme fear. It tried to operate the cold power in its body, but it was too late. This was simply a fatal injury. It kept rolling on the ground in an incomparably frenzied manner. The cold power in its body seemed to have encountered its natural enemy, and it rapidly melted. Its entire body was burned to ashes in a few breaths. With a thud, a grape-sized yin qi bead fell to the ground, spinning. How is this possible? The other 6 green zombies were dumbfounded. How could they have expected such a thing to happen? Xia Ping was clearly just a martial artist level 5 human, and his strength was so much weaker than theirs. But now, he defeated 7 of them with a single move, causing them to fall to the ground with serious injuries. Then, with another slap, he killed one of them. It was as easy as cutting melons and vegetables. It was as easy as blowing off dust. Refine. Xia Ping grabbed the yin qi bead in his right hand. At the same time, he operated the cultivation technique in his body, and in an instant, the yin qi bead was quickly refined and absorbed into his body. Walala majestic energy flowed into his meridians like a great river. Just the energy contained in this yin qi bead was comparable to 200 to 300 small yin qi beads, and its quality was even higher. Bang! Just when this energy reached its limit, the fifth acupoint was completely filled with genuine qi. Xia Ping's body shook, and the door of the sixth acupoint was finally broken. Martial Artist Level 6. Finally leveled up. Xia Ping felt that the muscles and bones in his body were constantly strengthening, and the genuine qi in his body was also stronger than before. His aura was rising steadily, and it was twice as strong as before. Even the hard marble floor could not withstand such an aura. 2 huge pits appeared on the ground where his feet stood, and countless cracks appeared. Some of the small gravel was even turned into powder. Not good, this human has leveled up. Damn it, he is already so terrifying when he is only at the martial artist level 5. If he has leveled up to the martial artist level 6, won't he be heaven-defying? Run, we are no match for this human. The 5 or 6 green zombies were trembling in fear. After witnessing Xia Ping's unparalleled ferocity, killing one of their companions with a single slap, and now that his strength had improved greatly, they had even less will to fight. Moreover, they were not those skeleton soldiers without intelligence. They did not have the spirit to be fearless of death, and they would not foolishly stay here and fight to the death with the human. So. Chapter 321. 8 Notes of the Heavenly Dragon. Seeing the 6 green zombies attempting to escape, Xia Ping's eyes flashed coldly. Standing on the spot, he channeled the energy in his dantian, opened his mouth, and let out a roar. Wu! Gu! Ba! Ma! E! 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 In just an instant, a huge sound wave came from the void, like the roar of a heavenly dragon. In fact, every sound wave condensed into syllables, blasting in all directions. The sound waves surged and took on a physical form. The ground was also destroyed by the sound waves. Terrifying cracks appeared, and gravel flew in all directions. This scene was like being ravaged by a typhoon with a magnitude of more than 10. It had an astonishing might. Ouch, my head hurts. What kind of sound-killing technique is this? Why is it so terrifying? It feels like my body is being cut by a knife or a sword. I can't block it at all. No. I still want to become the king of zombies. I want to become the king of zombies and rule over an army of tens of thousands. How can I die now? The green zombies did not even manage to take a few steps before they were enveloped by the power. The sound waves shook their bodies thousands of times, not to mention that it also contains Xia Ping's spiritual will. To these yin attribute undead creatures, an attack that contains spiritual power was simply fatal. It was also one of the most destructive attacks that could not be blocked at all. In fact, when Xia Ping was a Fighter 5 firmament cultivator, the power of the sound waves was already extremely terrifying, enough to shatter rocks. Now that he had advanced to the Fighter 6 firmament, it was even more terrifying. A single roar was enough to shatter a rock into dust. Bang bang bang. In just a second, they could no longer hold on. Their bodies felt like they were being cut by thousands of knives, and their souls felt like they were being bombarded by hundreds of hammers. Their bodies exploded into pieces in midair. Every piece of his body flew out like a bullet, shattering into pieces and bombarding the rocky ground around him, creating deep pits. Furthermore, the flesh and blood of these zombies contained corrosive power. Like sulfuric acid, they corroded the ground, creating holes. At this moment, the air was filled with a foul stench. The green zombies were all destroyed. At this moment, 5 to 6 grape-sized yin energy beads appeared on the ground, spinning on the ground. Not bad, Not bad. Xia Ping grabbed with his big hand and immediately grabbed the 5 or 6 yin energy beads. He knew that even the yin energy beads were divided into levels. They were elementary, intermediate, and advanced yin energy beads. Obviously, these 6 green zombies had the cultivation of the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm. The yin qi beads they left behind must be high-grade yin qi beads. The energy contained in them was 4 to 5 times that of a middle-grade yin qi bead. Each bead was worth 50 points. A mid-level yin energy bead was worth 10 points. What are these things? Xia Ping looked around and immediately saw a massive treasure chest in the corner. It looked incredibly grand and seemed to contain some sort of treasure. With a bang, he stepped forward and slapped it with his palm, immediately shaking the treasure chest open, revealing the things inside. The treasure chest was filled to the brim with yin qi beads, emitting a dense yin qi. Xia Ping carefully examined it. There were a total of 30 high-grade yin qi beads, 150 mid-grade yin qi beads, and over 1,000 low-grade yin qi beads. These yin energy pearls should have been collected by the zombie generals themselves. It was said that these zombies would even kill each other because they would devour their own kind and devour the power of the yin qi beads, allowing them to evolve faster and become stronger. In a space like the gloomy Corpse Mountain Range, only the stronger the creature, the larger the territory, the more subordinates, and the more resources they could occupy. As expected, I have to enter the Great Tomb and kill the zombie generals to make a fortune. If I kill those skeleton soldiers outside, no matter how many I kill, I won't gain anything. It's a waste of time and energy. Xia Ping smiled, he was overjoyed. Just the yin qi beads in this treasure chest were worth thousands of points. He did not know how many benefits there were. Even if he did not take it back to the school to exchange for points and used it for his own cultivation, it would save him several months of cultivation time. It would help him fill up his 6th acupoint with true qi and quickly advance to the 7th heaven. He would not forget the conflict with Su Huajian and the others. If he met those seniors again, he would definitely kill them. He had always remembered this grudge. Refine. Xia Ping grabbed the 6 high-grade yin energy pearls and immediately refined them. A large amount of pure energy flowed into his body, constantly filling up his 6th acupoint. The true qi in his body increased crazily, making walala sounds. It seems that I can only refine 6 high-grade yin energy pearls today. After an unknown amount of time, Xia Ping opened his eyes, emitting a trace of terrifying light. He felt that the true qi in his body had increased by a level. And 6 high-grade yin energy pearls could save him more than a month of cultivation time. But the body could absorb this energy daily, there was a limit. This was the so-called too much was as bad as not enough. He had to wait for his body to completely refine this energy before he could continue to absorb it the next day. I wonder how my strength is now. Xia Ping kept the treasure chest in his spatial ring. His eyes flashed, he wanted to test his strength. Bang! Suddenly, Xia Ping punched out, the void shook, and punched towards the wall in front of him. True qi condensed, and suddenly a huge hole appeared in the stone wall in front of him. Crushed stones rolled down. Even some of the crushed stones were turned into powder, showing the tyrannical destructive power. What a powerful strength! Xia Ping clenched his fists, making popping sounds. He could feel that he was more than 40 to 50% stronger than before. Even at a distance of 200 meters, he could still kill an enemy with one punch, shattering the enemy's internal organs. Not only his strength, even his mental power had increased by a lot, and his perception of the world had also become clearer. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Xia Ping practiced his martial arts on the spot, displaying his own fist techniques, constantly mastering them, letting his body adapt to the current explosive increase in strength. His figure appeared in the entire space. 10 minutes later, the ground of the palace was in a mess, with holes everywhere. But after this kind of practice, he had more or less adapted to the current strength and speed of his body. It's time to go out. Xia Ping took a deep breath, stabilizing the true qi in his body. His figure flashed, and he ran outside. At this time, outside the mountain, Jiang Yaru and the others were constantly killing the skeleton soldiers, zombies, and other monsters that emerged from the nearby black swamp, obtaining one after another an energy pearl after another. I wonder how Xia Ping is doing after entering the tomb. Nothing bad happened, right? He's been in there for a long time, and he still hasn't come out. He should be fine. It's not like you guys don't know how strong Big Brother is. We know, but there's always the unpredictable. If something unexpected happened, it's possible. Indeed. If Xia Ping still doesn't come out, we'll go in and take a look. Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, Nangong Wu, Feng Hetang, and the others were all discussing. They had continuously killed over 1,000 skeleton soldiers and zombies, and their martial arts were becoming more and more proficient. Chapter 322. Big Brother, you're out. Seeing Xia Ping come out, Feng Hetang couldn't help but cry out in surprise. Did anything happen after going in for such a long time? Chu Rong asked worriedly. Jiang Yaru and Nangong Wu also looked at Xia Ping at the same time, as if trying to see if he was injured. I'm fine. Xia Ping waved his hand. How could that zombie general do anything to me? I killed it long ago. The reason why I didn't come out for such a long time is because I comprehended something and cultivated inside for a period of time. What? Hearing this, Jiang Yaru and the others were shocked. They could also feel that Xia Ping's aura was different from before. It was a level stronger, like an unparalleled ferocious beast. Damn it, this monster broke through again. They were all speechless. They felt that Xia Ping's breakthrough was no different from drinking water. It was too fast, too shocking. Suddenly, Xia Ping sensed something. He raised his head and looked into the distance. Come out. Don't think that I won't know of your existence just because you're hiding nearby. You can't hide the killing intent from me. Jiang Yaru and the others were shocked. They looked around but found nothing. However, Xia Ping was definitely not the kind of person to speak carelessly. He must have discovered something. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, from behind a huge boulder in the distance, figures immediately appeared. There were at least 17 or 18 people. Each of them emitted a powerful aura and walked over with majestic steps. These figures were at least in the 6th heavenly layer of the martial realm. The strongest was in the 8th heavenly layer of the martial realm. Furthermore, each of them emitted a terrifying killing intent, as if they were bathed in blood. Who knew how many people they had killed? And the person in the lead was impressively LV Weihai. LV Weihai, what are you trying to do by bringing so many people to this place? Chu Rong couldn't help but shout angrily at LV Weihai. She instinctively felt that these people came here with bad intentions. So, she wanted to gain the upper hand with a show of strength and make these people feel guilty. What do I want to do? LV Weihai sneered. His expression was full of disdain. He stared fiercely at Xia Ping. Isn't it obvious? Do you think that after humiliating me at the airport, this is the end? Are you kidding me? You made me, LV Weihai, lose so much face in front of so many people. If you don't pay the price, this matter will never end, understand? He clenched his fists and his whole body was trembling. It was obvious that he was suppressing his anger. LV Weihai, don't go too far. Nangong Wu said in a deep voice, at the airport, it was just a fight. Everyone can settle it over a meal. There's no need to form a life and death grudge. We're all classmates, so why fight and kill each other? She put forward her suggestion, hoping to turn hostility into friendship. That's right, that's right. As the saying goes, if you don't fight, you won't get to know each other. Many friends who have been through life and death get to know each other this way. Our teacher also taught us to be harmonious and not to get angry. Feng Hetang shouted. He felt very guilty in his heart. LV Weihai had brought so many people here, and all of them were so powerful. Among them, there was even a powerhouse at the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm. No matter how he looked at it, they were at a disadvantage. Moreover, there was no one around. Even if he died here, no one would know, and the school would not be able to pursue the matter. "I'll eat your sister." LV Weihai's expression was ferocious as he gnashed his teeth. "You beat me up like a dead dog in front of so many people. You've lost all face. Do you know what the people outside call me now? They actually call me LV Shuehua." Speaking up to this point, he looked up to the sky and roared, "They said that I, a powerhouse at the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm, was easily defeated by a powerhouse at the 5th heaven. This kind of battle record is too exaggerated. If this isn't fake, then what is it? Now the people outside are saying that my cultivation was raised by taking pills. In fact, I don't have any ability at all. Otherwise, why would I lose so badly? Tell me, if I don't beat you to death, what face will I, LV Weihai, have? Will I still be a man?" His face was flushed red and extremely ferocious. "It's a little miserable." Feng Hetang also admitted it. He put forward his own suggestion, "But everything can be solved. If this matter can be solved with money, feel free to say it. My big brother is not short of money." He patted his chest, showing a rich and overbearing look. "Solve your sister." LV Weihai was so angry that his nose was crooked. At this time, they had formed such a hatred, but this bastard actually wanted to use money to solve it. He wanted to use money to deal with him. What a joke. Who was LV Weihai? He was the direct descendant of the king family. His business covered the entire cloud realm. He could enter the top 1,000 of the humans' rich list. He had so much money. How could it be these bastards turned to throw money at him? Today, no matter what you say or what you want to do, you can't escape death. LV Weihai gritted his teeth. "I'll let you die to tell those bastards of Yanhuang University that I, LV Weihai, am not someone who can be provoked at will." His body exuded a monstrous murderous aura. "Young Master LV, don't talk nonsense with these people. Just kill them, lest people pass by nearby and cause big trouble." A man with a knife scar stood up and said. He was extremely cold and had the cultivation of the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm. He was the boss of this group of villains. They were a small martial arts organization that made a living in Eden Corp City. Normally they would go through life and death situations in this dangerous place. For money, they would do anything. Killing people to steal their treasures was a common thing. All of them were villains who killed without batting an eye. And LV Weihai had also contacted them through some connections and hired them to do things for him. Yeah, they are just people who are about to die. What's the point of being angry with them? But young Master LV, can we not kill these 3 women and let our brothers have some fun? That's right. It's not easy to find such exquisite women. This is much better than visiting brothels. At least we don't need to spend money. The villains sneered again and again. They stared at Xia Ping and the others as if they were looking at turtles in a jar. They thought that this group of people could not escape from their palms. They had so many people and their martial arts cultivation was tyrannical. One punch from each of them was enough to beat Xia Ping and the others into meat paste. Whatever. As long as you kill Xia Ping, I can let you eat the soup of these women. LV Weihai's attitude was very casual. For him, no matter how beautiful a woman was, they were just clothes that could be thrown away at will. This group of bastards. Jiang Yaru clenched her fists. She knew that they would not be able to escape now. The other side wanted to kill them. These people's wills were like steel. No matter what they said, they could not change their minds. She did not think that LV Weihai would be so ruthless. He actually brought so many people. But even if she died, she would make this group of villains pay a heavy price. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and sighed, "What a pity. It seems that it is impossible to reason with you. In this world, whoever has the bigger fist is the one who is reasonable. Reason your sister. Go talk to the king of hell. Chapter 323. It's over. Feng Hatang couldn't help but shiver when he saw the other party make a move. That damn Baldy was an expert of the seventh heaven of the martial artist realm. Although he couldn't compare to a genius like LV Weihai, he was still considered strong. At the very least, he was much stronger than them, who were at the third heaven of the martial artist realm. Moreover, this Baldy was only one of them, relatively ordinary. If a group of them pounced on them, they would be dead for sure. All of you, die, this son of a bitch. LV Weihai's face was ferocious as he stared at Xia Ping. The reason why he risked his body to come to the gloomy corpse mountains was to see Xia Ping die in pain with his own eyes. Only then could he vent the hatred in his heart. Go to hell. The Baldy shouted angrily. He operated the chi in his body and jumped over from where he was standing. The huge force caused the ground to crack. From the bulging muscles on his body, it could be seen how terrifying the power of his punch was. Even an elephant could be easily beaten to death. The power of his punch was astonishing. In the face of the Baldy's attack, Xia Ping was expressionless. He took a step forward and suddenly punched the air. This punch was condensed with the power of his chi. The air vibrated and the huge force condensed into a fist. Vaguely, the roar of a lion could be heard in the air, shaking the forest. It was this punch that contained a terrifying power. The two were separated by hundreds of meters and the Baldy was still in the air, unable to reach Xia Ping at all. Even Jiang Yaru and the others could see the Baldy's hideous and proud expression and feel the murderous intent. Dong! But in the next second, the Baldy's eyes widened and revealed a look of disbelief. This was because Xia Ping's punch had landed solidly on his own chest. With a poochie sound, his chest was easily penetrated, and a huge bloody hole appeared. His entire body was destroyed by the powerful force. With a bang, his body immediately exploded and broke into pieces. A large number of pieces fell to the ground, dripping with blood. The Baldy was dead. No way, he's dead. The hearts of the scar-faced man and the others twitched fiercely. They could not believe it at all. The bald thug was considered one of their elites. He was an expert at the seventh heaven of the martial artist realm. He was proficient in all kinds of fist techniques and had tyrannical combat power. Even if he fought against an eighth heaven martial artist, he would still be able to exchange a few blows. However, when facing this kid, he was killed by a punch through the air and turned into a pile of minced meat on the spot. He did not even have the chance to scream. He's become stronger. LV Weihai was even more shocked. He was very clear about Xia Ping's strength because he had just fought with Xia Ping yesterday. At that time, Xia Ping was only at the fifth heaven of the martial artist realm. But what was going on now? It had only been one night, and he had actually advanced to the sixth celestial stage. Was this a joke? Even eating couldn't be this fast. He deeply felt Xia Ping's potential. He seemed to be growing stronger all the time. Even if it was just one night, he could still undergo earth-shattering changes. This monster. Jiang Yaru and the others had long since become numb from the shock, unable to utter a single word. If you don't want to reason with me and want to fight with my fists, then you can go down and talk to the king of hell. After easily killing the bald criminal with a punch, Xia Ping took a step forward, twisted his waist, stood firmly in a horse stance, and blasted out a punch. His strength gushed out from his feet, and through the rotation of his waist, the strength was transmitted inch by inch in a spiral shape. From his shoulders, elbows, and then to his fists, a huge force of true chi erupted in an instant. In an instant, the entire ground seemed to tremble, and a terrifying explosion occurred in the air. Dodge! The scarred man felt this tyrannical force erupt, and his expression immediately changed. This was a fatal punch. Even an expert at the eighth heaven of the martial artist realm would die after being hit by this punch. As for the others, needless to say, it was really too late to warn them now. The fist was like a seal, and the force penetrated through it, blasting over 100 meters away. The three criminals standing at the front did not even know what had happened, and they were forcibly hit by this punch. Bang! 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 The three criminals did not even have time to scream. They stood in the same place, and the fist force penetrated their chests, and their bodies exploded just like that, scattering on the ground, dyeing the soil red. No, no, no. The scarred man and the others stared with their eyes wide open, and they were extremely angry in their hearts. They watched helplessly as their three companions were killed with a punch, and their deaths were worthless. One could imagine how angry they were now. Damned bastard, go to hell. You must pay the price for killing Lu Qi and the others. Go to hell, I must kill you, bastard. The group of murderers went crazy, and they could no longer suppress the anger in their hearts. In an instant, 7 or 8 murderers jumped out, attacking from all directions with an arrogant aura. Some were holding long spears, some were holding big sabers, some were holding swords, and some were barehanded. Every one of them erupted with the combat power of the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm. Countless martial arts forces gathered together, erupting a tyrannical destructive power. Even if an expert at the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm encountered such an attack, he would have to avoid it. However, Xia Ping was not an ordinary warrior. In the face of such an attack, he did not bother to dodge and let out a loud roar. 8 heavenly dragon music. Wu. Ku. Ba. Ma. Ah. 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 These 8 syllables appeared in the air. Each syllable caused heaven and earth to tremble, and powerful sound waves exploded out. They were like ocean waves, covering the sky and covering the earth as they shot out. Ah ah ah. The 8 murderers immediately let out a shrill scream. Being attacked by such a violent sound wave, their eyes, noses, mouths, ears, and other places immediately bled. They were still jumping in the air and wanted to attack, but after being hit by this attack, they felt as if they had been bombarded by lightning, and their internal organs were severely injured. With a few bangs, they fell to the ground one by one, dead on the spot. You must be joking. The scarred man, who was at the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm, also felt his legs go weak at this moment, and his whole body was trembling. In a few breaths, more than a dozen of his elite subordinates were killed without any effort. Even he could not do such a thing. How could this be? LV Weihai's eyes widened. He did not expect such a thing to happen. He was obviously here to seek revenge and to kill Xia Ping easily. But what was going on now? They had not even made a move and more than a dozen of them died. You want me to pay the price? Are you qualified? The aura on Xia Ping's body rose steadily, and with each step he took, the ground shook. He was simply like an invincible god of war, the whole mountain was shaking, and the murderous aura filled the sky. No, 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 run, let's run. This guy is a monster, a real monster, we are no match for him at all. It's a mistake, it's really a mistake this time. If we don't run, we will die. Chapter 324. These villains were incomparably terrified. When had they ever encountered such a thing? They were tyrannical in Een Corp City. They did not know how many wicked things they had done, how many innocent people they had killed, and how many benefits they had obtained in order to advance step by step to their current cultivation. Usually, they were also very careful and would never be careless. They did not make a move against those with a background, those who looked powerful, and did not go to dangerous places, so they had survived until today. They also thought that if they continued like this, they could step on countless corpses, obtain a lot of benefits, safely advance to a higher realm of martial arts, and obtain the glory and splendor of the world. But now they had made a mistake. Just one mistake, and they had provoked someone they should not have provoked, and they were dead. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The remaining few villains quickly fled in all directions, almost using all their strength. It was estimated that they would never be able to move faster than today in this lifetime. They simply wished their parents could give them more legs. But no matter how fast these people were, how could they be faster than the speed of Kunpeng's steps? Xia Ping only took a step forward, and it was as if the ground had shrunk to an inch. In an instant, he crossed dozens of meters, and then a terrible aura surged out from his dantian. Immediately, a tyrannical force slapped out, forming a terrible force. The whole sky was shaking, and there were ghostly wails and wolf howls. It ruthlessly bombarded these few villains. "Stop!" The scarred man shouted angrily. He finally came to his senses and was immediately shocked and angry. It was because of a moment of carelessness that this kid actually killed more than a dozen of his elite subordinates in a few breaths. His heart was about to explode from anger. Bang! He rushed over, holding a big saber in his hand, like a fierce beast pouncing over. He suddenly jumped into the air and slashed at Xia Ping, showing the terrible cultivation of the eighth heaven of the martial artist realm. Blood soul hell-breaking saber. As the saber slashed down, the whole sky was filled with blood-red evil spirit, as if countless ghosts had appeared. Layers of saber shadows appeared in the air, and each saber had a terrible power. Saber chi vibrated. The scarred man had used this saber technique to fight with countless experts. It was unknown how many enemies he had killed, but he had long practiced this saber technique. Every saber existed to kill, and it was simplified to the extreme. There were no complicated moves at all. It hadn't struck Xia Ping yet, but the ground was shaking. Some of the smaller stones on the ground were unable to withstand such a terrifying aura and were crushed to dust. There were even cracks on the ground. "You dare to stop me? Die!" Xia Ping didn't dodge. A cold light flashed in his eyes. He took a step forward, and a terrifying aura rose. Faintly, there seemed to be a phantom of a giant elephant rising behind him. Terrifying true chi gushed out, covering every corner of his body as he punched out. The seventh move of the myriad beast's fist, Mammoth Axe. With a bang, this punch was like the birth of an ancient barbaric elephant. It let out an earth-shattering roar, and it was so powerful that even a rock that weighed hundreds of tons would be crushed into powder. A huge Shin-Chi axe appeared, pushing away the surrounding air and cleaving towards the scarred man, sweeping everything in its path. Bang! Two berserk powers collided. The blood-colored vengeful spirit and the elephant were entangled in midair, fighting with each other. Terrifying energy exploded out, stirring up a huge gale. "Ah!" The scarred man screamed. He couldn't bear the terrifying force coming from Xia Ping. The power of the giant axe was enough to smash everything, shaking his hand until it was numb. Even the broadsword in his hand fell to the ground. His whole body seemed to be struck by lightning. His body was sent flying for hundreds of meters, and a deep crack appeared on the ground. With a puff, he couldn't help but cough out a pile of blood, dyeing his clothes red. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, LV Weihai was suddenly terrified. He could no longer suppress the fear in his heart. Even an expert in the eighth heaven of the martial artist realm was not a match for this kid. With just one move, he was beaten like a dead dog. He fell to the ground and coughed up blood. If he continued to stay in this place, there was no doubt that he would be killed. It can't be, even the boss was defeated by this kid with one punch. It's over, it's over. If I had known, I wouldn't have accepted this task. I actually encountered such a monster. Staying here is a dead end. I will definitely be buried with the boss. Let's escape first. We will take revenge on this kid when we get back. After killing so many of our people, he will definitely pay the price. Those villains were scared half to death. They even lost their souls. Their boss was not a match for this kid and was easily defeated in one move. How could they, the small fries, defeat this monster? As the saying goes, when the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. They didn't have much deep feelings, so naturally, they were scared and fled in all directions. They didn't dare to stay in this place at all. I said, you can't escape at all. Xia Ping looked indifferently at the remaining few villains who wanted to escape. His figure flickered and actually appeared in the same place. Each figure displayed a kind of fist technique, be it a tiger, a violent ape, a black bear, a raging bull, a poisonous snake, or a shark. The earth shook and the air was torn thousands of times. In an instant, this kind of power was like a volcanic eruption, attacking those villains. The terrifying force immediately broke out, tearing the air like thunder. Across a distance of hundreds of meters, it arrived in an instant and accurately bombarded these villains. In the face of such power and such speed, they couldn't escape at all. They took this punch head-on. Bang bang bang. One by one, they let out shrill screams as a huge bloody hole appeared in their chests. Their bodies couldn't withstand this kind of power and actually split into pieces, turning into a mass of meat paste. They were directly killed by the punch. Their eyes were wide open as if they couldn't believe that they died just like that. They clearly had a bright future and even wanted to advance to the martial master realm. How could they die now? However, no matter how unwilling, how resentful, how angry, or how unwilling they were, they couldn't escape death. This was the price he had to pay. He had to pay for it. This. LV Weihai was so scared that his legs turned to jelly. Although he stayed in the cloud realm, a place where monsters ran amok and danger lurked everywhere, he was a direct descendant of the LV family and a member of the sovereign family. Naturally, he hadn't experienced too much danger. If there was any problem, the family would help him solve it. It had always been the case of many people bullying the few and crushing all enemies with their powerful strength. When had he ever encountered such a dangerous situation? Now, he was actually at a disadvantage and his life was in danger. His whole body was trembling and he didn't know what to do. Chapter 325. Yes, run, we must run. Hearing this, Lu Weihai was like a chicken pecking at rice, his face pale. He couldn't resist the knife scar's strength at all and was carried away like a chicken. Young Master Lu, as long as we get out of this brat's attack range, no matter how strong he is, he won't be able to kill us. The scarred man was very clear that even if all his brothers were dead, as long as he could save the Lu family's young master and obtain the friendship of this Lu family's direct descendant, then his future would be worry-free and he would definitely be able to achieve meteoric success. As for his dead brothers, he couldn't do anything about it. If you want to kill someone, then you have to be prepared to be killed. In a few breaths, they were 400 to 500 meters away, completely out of Xia Ping's attack range. Just you wait. Lu Weihai clenched his teeth, his eyes revealing a deep killing intent. When I return to the Lu family, I will immediately mobilize the Lu family's personal guards to kill you and tear you into pieces. Even the people around you will not be spared. Not a single one will be spared. In his entire life, he had never suffered such humiliation. To be defeated like this twice in a row was a great humiliation that he would never forget for the rest of his life. No matter what, he had to kill this brat and wash away his humiliation. Oh no, Lu Weihai escaped. Jiang Yaru and the others were extremely anxious. They knew that if Lu Weihai escaped, they would be in big trouble. After all, Lu Weihai was a direct descendant of the Lu family. Right now, they were already enemies. If they let him escape like this, who knew what kind of trouble it would bring? Perhaps as soon as they left the gloomy corpse mountains, they would be hunted down by the Lu family. He can't escape. A sliver of cold light flashed through Xia Ping's eyes as killing intent surged. He immediately pulled out the moon-shooting bow from his space ring. Knocking an arrow, he aimed it at the scarred man and locked onto him with his spirit. He took a step forward and circulated the Zhen Qi in his dantian. A tyrannical Zhen Qi surged out and infused into the moon-shooting bow. Immediately, the entire bow let out a buzzing sound, as if there were inscriptions vibrating and emitting a golden light. At this moment, Xia Ping's spiritual power seemed to be immersed in the treasured bow. It was as if he had once again entered the power of the extreme realm, reaching the realm of man and bow as one. He could sense that at this moment, the entire world was in a state of silence. The mountains, the earth, the rivers, and the winds seemed to have fused with his spiritual power. Xiao. In an instant, the arrow immediately shot out, which contained the tyrannical power of Xia Ping's innate qi, like lightning, tearing through the air. It was impossible to see the shadow of the arrow, such a speed has exceeded the level of ordinary human retina to capture. What? The knife-scarred man was still fleeing, but all of a sudden, his instincts as a martial artist at the eighth heaven realm made his hair stand on end. It seemed that a strong sense of danger was approaching. But he had no idea what was going on. He instinctively turned around, only to discover a black light appearing in front of his eyes. In the next second, the black light penetrated his head. Bang! The knife-scarred man did not even have the chance to scream. His forehead was instantly penetrated, and a huge bloody hole appeared. Even his body was moved by this powerful force. Under the effect of inertia, his body flew up like a football, and suddenly smashed into a hard mountain wall opposite him. With a crack, a human-shaped hole was formed, gravel flew everywhere, and smoke and dust billowed. This is too exaggerated. Feng Hatang and the others were dumbfounded. They all watched helplessly as the scarred man died on the spot. His head was pierced by a black arrow, and he was nailed to the mountain wall just like that. Blood dripped down from his head. They also saw that the knife-scarred man's eyes were wide open, and there was a trace of disbelief, a trace of unwillingness, and a trace of regret in his pupils. How could he have thought that he would die like this? He was clearly hundreds of meters away, out of the opponent's attack range, but he still died. He could not escape, and an arrow pierced through his head. The power of the extreme state is indeed powerful. After shooting this arrow again, Xia Ping felt that his control of the power of the extreme state had become more proficient. Just this arrow alone could surpass 3 levels, and it would not be a problem to kill a martial artist at the 9th level. However, such an arrow consumed too much genuine qi power. With the current genuine qi power, he could at most shoot 3 arrows. If he wanted to kill other martial artists after shooting 3 arrows, it would be a little troublesome. It could be said that it was impossible. Therefore, this could only be used as a trump card. When facing a skilled and powerful enemy, it could not be used. After all, if a martial artist did not have genuine qi, it was like a car without fuel. No one knew how weak they would become, and anyone could kill a martial artist. Damn it! Seeing that even the knife-scarred man was killed by an arrow, LV Weihai was so scared that his face turned pale. He rolled and crawled, not daring to stay at all, and quickly fled into the distance. Swoosh! Xia Ping's figure flickered, and he used the Kuan-Peng steps, leaped a distance of hundreds of meters, and hit the air with his palm. With a bang, like the morning bell and evening drum, it bombarded LV Weihai's body. Immediately, he was like a dead dog that was slapped to the ground, flying for hundreds of meters. In the end, LV Weihai fell to the ground, coughing blood non-stop, and a huge human-shaped pit appeared on the ground. Xia Ping took another step forward, arriving in front of LV Weihai, and looked down at him from above. "What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?" LV Weihai put on a strong front, and shouted loudly, "Do you know that I am from the LV clan? Do you know that I am LV Weihai? If you dare to kill me, my father will not let you off, and my LV clan will not let you off either. When that time comes, not only you, but even your family, your friends, will all die. Do you understand?" He tried to threaten Xia Ping. "I understand." Xia Ping nodded, and looked at him just like that. You know. LV Weihai was stunned, a little at a loss, not knowing what Xia Ping meant. Xia Ping condescendingly said, "Yes, I know, but you still have to die." Hearing this, LV Weihai suddenly understood. This brat knew that he was LV Weihai, and also knew that he was from the LV clan. He was also very clear about the power of the LV clan, a king clan. It was precisely because he knew that he had to die. As long as he died in the gloomy corpse mountain range, no one would know how he, LV Weihai, died. Even the LV clan would not be able to find any clues, and even their enemies would not be able to find any clues. Therefore, it was impossible for him to not die. No, no, no. LV Weihai screamed in fear. Understanding this, he tried to struggle. But how could he struggle? His palm was destroyed by Xia Ping. What did he mean by not having the slightest bit of strength, and with such a short distance, wanting to dodge was simply impossible. Xia Ping's palm came down from the sky, and with a peng sound, it hit LV Weihai's head. A huge force exploded, and immediately, the top of his head was shattered, and blood flowed from his 7 orifices. Chapter 326. They're all dead. Seeing this scene, Jiang Yaru and the others were extremely shocked. There were more than 10 martial realm experts, and there was no lack of martial realm experts among them. But they were still slaughtered by Xia Ping. This kind of power was simply unimaginable. Originally, they thought that it would be difficult for them to escape death today, but now they discovered that there was no danger at all. Instead, the criminals who were chasing them were all dead. Not a single one survived. What's this? Xia Ping immediately noticed that there was something on LV Weihai's body. He stretched out his hand and immediately took out a white porcelain bottle from LV Weihai's body. With a paw, he opened it and saw that there were 2 or 3 red pills inside, emitting a strong medicinal aura. Dragon Tiger Rui pill. Xia Ping immediately recognized that it was a top-grade medicinal pill. It was extremely beneficial to experts in the martial warrior realm. It could greatly increase the true qi within one's body. Consuming such a medicinal pill was enough to save half a year of cultivation time. Right, this should be the pill that LV Weihai usually takes when he cultivates. The reason why he was able to reach the 7th martial realm so quickly is probably because he took the Dragon Tiger Rui pill. Xia Ping smiled faintly, his heart instantly filled with joy. He didn't expect to be able to obtain such a pill from LV Weihai. As long as he took these 3 Dragon Tiger Rui pills, he estimated that reaching the peak of the 6th martial realm would be a sure thing. It would save him more than a year of cultivation time. But unfortunately, when he wanted to search for the treasures on the other corpses, he couldn't find any. They were all poor bastards. Other than weapons, they didn't have anything on them. I didn't expect LV Weihai to actually die. Jiang Yaru and the others had complicated expressions. Offending a king clan was not a simple matter. Once the matter was exposed, they would have to pay a heavy price. But they also knew that if LV Weihai didn't die, then they would die. LV Weihai had brought a group of criminals to commit murder. If they didn't resist, they would definitely die. No matter what, they would become LV Weihai's mortal enemy. It was better to just directly kill them and end all troubles. Don't worry. Feng Hetang said in a deep voice, this is the gloomy corpse mountain range. It is an independent space. Experts above the martial realm cannot enter. Even the king clan cannot behave atrociously in this place. LV Weihai died here. As long as we don't say anything, no one will find out. As time passes, the Lu clan will think that LV Weihai has gone missing in the evil corpse mountain range. After all, countless cultivators have died in the evil corpse mountain range. It doesn't mean that he is invincible just because he is from a sovereign clan. Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Nangong Wu all nodded in agreement. Fortunately, they were in a unique space like the gloomy corpse mountains. Otherwise, if they were in the outside world, it would have been very difficult to conceal this news. Come and help, throw these corpses into the valley to feed the zombies. Xia Ping said in a low voice. He was not moved at all. Since he had killed LV Weihai, he would not regret it. So what if LV Weihai was a member of a king clan? If he wanted to kill him, did he have to obediently hand over his head to be killed? If they annoyed him, he would just kill them. Yes, big brother. Feng Hatang immediately stepped forward. Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, and Nangong Wu also came to help. They knew how important this matter was. As long as the corpses of LV Weihai and the others disappeared, then no matter how powerful the Lu family was, they wouldn't be able to find out who killed LV Weihai. Bang bang bang. A few minutes later, the corpses of LV Weihai and the others on the ground were thrown into a valley by Xia Ping and the others. They were quickly devoured by the surrounding zombies, not even bones were left. Even the most brilliant detective would not know how LV Weihai died. Host. Suddenly, the system's voice rang out, there is an enemy full of killing intent towards the host. It is determined to be a major threat. Do you want to spend 1,000 hatred points to resolve it? Spend. Xia Ping's heart moved and he immediately said. Immediately, a warm current surged in his mind, and a majestic amount of information poured in. A video-like thing appeared in his mind, and the person who caused the other party to have killing intent was Su Huajian. On a plain in the gloomy Corpse Mountains, Su Huajian and the others were running quickly. All of them were experts in the 9th layer of the martial artist realm. They were tyrannical and unscrupulous in this place. Any skeleton soldiers, zombies, and so on that blocked in front of them were crushed into pieces. Nothing could stop them. Brother Su, can this bird really find that Xia Ping? A gray-clothed man looked curiously at a cyan bird in Su Jianhua's hand. It was about the size of a palm. Its whole body was wrapped in true energy, isolating the surrounding cold air. Of course, this is the heaven and earth-seeking bird. Su Jianhua sneered, it is born to be extremely sensitive to auras. It can distinguish hundreds of thousands of auras between heaven and earth. Even if it is hundreds of kilometers away, it can easily find the target. When I was in the student dormitory, I deliberately made a move in order to get a piece of that kid's clothes. It has his aura on it. As long as the seeking bird smells this aura, no matter where that kid escapes, it can easily find him. He revealed a sneer and his killing intent was boiling. In order to kill Xia Ping and completely eradicate this enemy of the Su family, he made many plans and took every possibility into account. Amazing, as expected of Brother Su. The seeking bird is a priceless treasure. It is said that even the school has to spend 10,000 points to buy it. Only Brother Su is willing to do so. We admire him. This way, Xia Ping is dead for sure. He can't even escape. If he stayed in Yanhuang University, we would at most humiliate him. But he actually left Yanhuang University and entered the gloomy Corpse Mountain Range. He is dead for sure. If he dies in the gloomy Corpse Mountain Range, even the King family can't find anyone to take revenge. Hee, the seeking bird seems to have sensed something. Xia Ping is probably not far from here. Once we find Xia Ping, there is no need to talk nonsense. We will kill him with one palm. The dozen seniors sneered again and again. Their eyes were filled with deep coldness. Let's go. I can't wait to see Xia Ping's terrified expression. We didn't kill him in Yanhuang University, but we must kill him now. He can't escape. Su Jianhua sped up. With a bang, the video screen shattered. Su Jianhua and the others immediately disappeared. Su Jianhua. Xia Ping clenched his fists. His heart was boiling with killing intent. He didn't think that Su Jianhua wouldn't even wait for a second and actually followed him from the school. If not for the system notification, he might really have fallen into the enemy's ambush and fallen into a heavy encirclement. Interesting. You actually dare to follow me to the gloomy Corpse Mountain Range. Then prepare to die here. Xia Ping wouldn't forget what happened in the school. Su Jianhua and the others wanted to kill him, and he also wanted to attack them. Chapter 327. Next, Xia Ping separated from Jiang Yaru and the others. He briefly explained the matter of Su Jianhua and the others chasing after him, but didn't elaborate on how he knew. After all, if Jiang Yaru and the others stayed by his side, not only would they implicate them, but they would also become a burden to him. If he was alone, it would be much easier to deal with Su Jianhua and the others. Moreover, Su Jianhua and the others only had his aura. If they wanted to chase after him, they would only chase after him. Then I'll be leaving. Take care. After saying this, Xia Ping's figure flickered and immediately left the place. I didn't expect Su Jianhua and the others to really chase after us. They're really ruthless. All the children of big families are like this. They're all cruel. If there's an enemy that threatens them, they'll never show mercy. I can see it in Yanhuang University. They dare to make a move in a place with surveillance cameras everywhere. They're simply unscrupulous. What else can't they do? But how did Xia Ping know that they're chasing us now? I don't know. Xia Ping must have his own secrets. We don't need to ask too much. Indeed, the most important thing now is to strengthen ourselves. Otherwise, we'll always let Xia Ping help us. Yes, let's go hunt zombies now and get school points. We can't waste time here. Jiang Yaru and the others were discussing. They didn't intend to stay where they were. They walked into the distance and continued to hunt zombies. The Yin Corpse mountain range was vast, at least thousands of kilometers wide. There were large mountains, valleys, rivers, plains, and so on. The terrain was complex. At this time, Xia Ping left Jiang Yaru and the others and set off towards the depths of the Yin Corpse mountain range. The deeper they went into the Yin Corpse mountain range, the denser the Yin Qi, and the stronger the zombies, skeletons, and so on. It was said that at the end of the Yin Corpse mountain range, there was another wider space, where even more terrifying demons lived. There would be Yiksha, Azura, and other demons that could only be dealt with by experts above the martial master realm. And the Yin Corpse mountain range was just the entrance to this vast space. System, what can stop the tracking of the seeking bird? Xia Ping asked. The system replied, you can take the concealing Qi pill, worth 1,000 hatred points. This pill can hide the aura of your body for a day, but the aura of your clothes can't be hidden. It is recommended that the host discard it and change into other clothes. Exchange. Xia Ping immediately said. He had stored a lot of nutrient drinks in his interspatial ring, as well as many new clothes. These were all prepared beforehand. He was not worried that he would not be able to find anything else after taking off this set of clothes. With a ding sound, a gray pill immediately fell into Xia Ping's hand. There are too many people in Su Huajian's group. There are at least 13 of them and all of them are in the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm. If we fight them head-on, it will not be worth it. Xia Ping's eyes flickered as he clenched his fists. However, if I can advance to Fighter 7 Heaven Realm and clear all 7 acupoints, reaching the realm of a high-ranked fighter, then it will be much easier to deal with these people. I need to find a place to go into seclusion for a few days and break through. He had obtained 2 or 3 Dragon Tiger Rui pills and was confident that he could use these pills to break through. However, even if it's just a temporary closed-door training, I still need to cause trouble for those people. Xia Ping moved and immediately changed into a new set of clothes. Then, he tore the old clothes into pieces and divided them into more than 10 pieces. Thus, he left his footprints in the nearby mountains. Some left a piece of clothes in the depths of the valley, some left a big tomb where the zombie king lived, some left a piece on the steep mountain peak, some left a piece in the black swamp, and some left a piece in the river where piranhas were hidden, constantly confusing the other party's vision. After doing all this, Xia Ping clapped his hands and left. After walking for dozens of kilometers, he finally found a remote valley. Oh! This place is not bad. I didn't expect that there would be such a lake in a godforsaken place like the gloomy Corpse mountain range. Coming to this nameless valley, Xia Ping found that there was a lake in the valley. The lake water was clear and the surroundings exuded a fresh smell. There was a faint fragrance of flowers. Compared to the black water of the other rivers in the gloomy Corpse Mountain range, this place was simply heaven. He touched the lake water. It contained cold energy and gathered yin qi. However, it was still bearable. Even for a fighter, this lake was a good place for cultivation. It was completely possible to borrow the cold energy of the lake water to stimulate the body and stimulate the body's potential, speeding up the cultivation speed. This should be the so-called ice lake. I didn't expect to find such a good place in this place. Xia Ping smiled, not bad, I'll temporarily cultivate in this place. He also felt that this place had rich heaven and earth spiritual qi. Moreover, this place was hidden, very suitable for his cultivation. Whoosh! Xia Ping went deep into the valley and found a cave. He even moved a huge rock to block the entrance of the cave. This could be considered as a temporary residence. Even if others blocked this place, they wouldn't be able to find him for a while. He entered the cave and sat down cross-legged. He took the Dragon Tiger Rui pill and began closed-door training. At this time, Xia Ping was comfortably in closed-door training. Su Huajian and the others came to the front of a big underground tomb. They guarded the entrance of the cave and immediately became a little hesitant. Something's wrong. A senior seriously stared at the cave entrance. Brother Su, are you sure that little bastard Xia Ping entered this big tomb? I can sense that this tomb is not simple. There is at least a corpse king existence. The corpse kings in the gloomy Corpse Mountains all had the strength of the ninth heaven of the martial warrior realm. They were invulnerable and could fight 5 martial artists of the same level. They even had poison in their bodies. Once they were infected by the poison, if they were not treated in time, they would immediately be poisoned and infected into a zombie. It could be said that the strength of a corpse king was equally terrifying. If there was no need, they would not provoke it. Don't worry, there's definitely no mistake. Su Jianhua was full of confidence, even the seeking bird sensed that the kid's aura in this big tomb, so there must be. He probably entered the big tomb to find some treasure. Although according to his strength, entering this big tomb is courting death, how to put it, this kid is very strange. He has many secrets. Maybe he is confident that he can hide from the Corpse King's perception and obtain great benefits. He guessed. Brother Su is right, this kid is indeed very strange. What's there to be afraid of? We have so many experts of the ninth heaven of the martial warrior realm here. One punch from each of us is enough to kill that Corpse King. Why should we be afraid of this big tomb zombie? That's right, that's right. Just sweep over and kill that little bastard Xia Ping and the Corpse King together. Tisk tsk, it is said that the Corpse King's tomb also has a lot of treasures. Maybe we can kill 3 birds with 1 stone and obtain supreme benefits. More than a dozen senior students discussed and saw each other's greed. Chapter 328. Damn, we got tricked, we got tricked. What's going on with this tomb? Didn't they say that there was only 1 Corpse King in each tomb? Why did 5 or 6 appear all at once? Did they all come here for a meeting? Hurry up and run, what's there to talk about? If these 5 or 6 Corpse Kings catch up to us, we're finished. Where's that bastard Xia Ping? Where is that bastard? Why can't we find him? We only found a piece of his shirt, nothing. He's not even here. Half an hour later, a group of seniors ran out of the tomb. Their faces were filled with panic and blood flowed out of their bodies. They were beaten black and blue. Some were poisoned, their faces were black and their eyes were green. They were about to turn into zombies. Quick, 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 take the antidote pill. If you're late, you'll turn into a zombie. A senior quickly took out a bottle of antidote pill and gave it to the poisoned senior. The poisoned senior quickly took it to relieve the poison in his body. This was the pill that they often went to Yin Corpse Mountain Range. If they didn't have the antidote pill, once they were poisoned, they would be completely dead. Luckily, they were prepared. Brother Su, what's going on? Didn't you say that Xia Ping was in the tomb? Why don't we see him? A senior said unhappily. They thought that they could sweep through the tomb and easily kill the corpse kings. Who would have thought that after entering the tomb, they would be ambushed by 5 or 6 corpse kings? They were beaten up and ran out. If they were a bit slower, they would have become food for the corpse kings. Well, he probably appeared in this tomb before and even fought with the zombies here, leaving behind a piece of his shirt. Su Jianhua's expression was awkward, but he still explained, you guys know that although the seeking bird can find the aura of humans, it can't tell if the person is there or not. After all, they are birds and don't have the intelligence of humans. The other seniors were helpless. They understood that it wasn't the seeking bird's fault. It could indeed find the enemy's aura and also found a piece of Xia Ping's shirt. But he had already left, so they couldn't blame the seeking bird. Damn, Xia Ping was lucky this time, but next time it'll be that bastard's death. A senior said viciously. Since things had already turned out like this, they could only endure. 2 to 3 hours later, they arrived at a forest. There were white trees all around, densely packed together. The surroundings were filled with gray fog, and it was eerie. Brother Su, is it really here? A senior student expressed his doubts. This is the famous bone forest. The trees that grow here are called bone trees. It's simply a forest of death. Going in there is no different from courting death. No matter how stupid that kid is, he wouldn't foolishly come into this forest to die, right? Su Jianhua hesitated for a moment and looked at the seeking bird in his hand. The seeking bird squeaked and pointed forward, as if saying that it was inside, right here. His expression immediately became firm, that's right, it should be this place. Although the bone forest is a bit dangerous, it is said that there are bone secret treasures in the depths of the forest, which have great benefits for cultivation. Once you take it, you'll be able to break through immediately. It won't be a problem for you to reach the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm. That brat knows that he has offended us. He will definitely search for all sorts of treasures to increase his strength like a madman. I reckon that no matter where he goes, he will take risks. Su Jianhua speculated confidently. Indeed, Brother Su's words are very reasonable. After offending us, the brat will naturally be extremely afraid. Of course, he will take risks everywhere. Just now, he even went to the Corpse King Cemetery. Even if he goes to the Bone Forest, it's not a big deal. A mere 5th heaven of the martial artist realm trash dares to enter the Bone Forest. Don't tell me that we seniors don't dare to go. That's right, it's just a few bone trees. Wait for me to tear it down. Once we see that Xia Ping, kill him immediately. There's no need to be polite with him. The group of senior students nodded, expressing that Su Jianhua's words were very reasonable. Swoosh swoosh swoosh. As soon as the voice fell, Su Jianhua took the lead and immediately rushed into the bone forest. Half an hour later, they were so scared that they peed their pants. One by one, they covered their heads and ran out crazily. Behind them, a large group of white poisonous bees followed, covering the sky and covering the earth like a cloud. After running for more than 10 kilometers, the white poisonous bees stopped chasing Su Jianhua and the others and slowly flew back. One of them had a few big bumps on his face. He looked like a Buddha and did not look like a human anymore. On the other hand, Su Jianhua's mouth was like a sausage. Even his breathing was a little leaky. We are so unlucky. Why did we encounter a group of bone poisonous bees? These bone poisonous bees are incredible. They are extremely poisonous and there are many of them. They are born with Yin Qi and are not afraid of death. If we were bitten by 10 bone poisonous bees, we might even die on the spot. Fortunately, our martial arts are high and our escape speed is fast. Otherwise, we would definitely die. The group of senior students had a lingering fear. They hurriedly consumed antidotes to alleviate the poison in their bodies. Otherwise, they would definitely be killed by the bone-poisonous bees just now. Brother Su, what exactly is going on? Didn't they say that Xia Ping was definitely in there? Why did we only find a shoe in there? A senior student cried out in grief and indignation. They had painstakingly barged into this dangerous forest, but they did not see anything. They only found a shoe left behind by Xia Ping. One could imagine how angry they were. If they could catch Xia Ping, it would be fine. But now, they did not find anything. They did not even see his shadow. Hearing this, Su Jianhua felt that he was very innocent. He said, "What can I do?" The seeking bird said that he was in there, and I was also tricked. The other senior students were helpless. Indeed, Su Jianhua was also a victim. Moreover, his injuries were not much lighter than theirs. Look at his lips, they were swollen like sausages. Damn stupid bird. If it dares to find the wrong place next time, I will roast it. A senior student stared at the seeking bird fiercely. The seeking bird was very intelligent. It was not inferior to humans. It hurriedly stretched out its claws and patted its chest, indicating that it would definitely not find the wrong place next time. Rest assured, it would do its job properly. Searching for a scent was just child's play. It was just a piece of cake. Let's go. Don't waste time. We have to find that Xia Ping as soon as possible. I can feel that we will find him soon. No matter how fast that kid runs, he can't be faster than us. Su Jianhua bared his teeth. Yes. Chapter 329. A day later, under the tracking of the seeking bird, Su Jianhua and the others arrived at the Black River, the Poisonous Valley, the Rotten Swamp, and other extremely dangerous places. They were all in a sorry state, and several seniors were seriously injured, falling to the ground and foaming at the mouth. Don't stop me, I must kill this damn bird. One of the seniors went crazy and tried to kill the seeking bird, but he was stopped by the surrounding seniors who grabbed his arm. Chen Wu, don't be too impulsive. The seeking bird didn't do it on purpose. That's right, that's right. Why bother with a bird? Several seniors tried to dissuade him. Senior Chen Wu went crazy and said, "Impulsive my ass. Look at what this damn bird has done. Where did it lead us? The dead river, the poisonous valley, the rotten swamp, and so on. Every place is extremely dangerous, and it's almost certain death. We were chased by piranhas in the river, poisonous corpses in the valley, and we almost drowned in the swamp. I've never experienced such a terrifying adventure in my 20 years of life. How is this chasing the enemy? It's clearly sending us to our deaths. Without a doubt, this damn bird must be a spy sent by that little bastard Xia Ping. It wants to indirectly kill us." He looked up to the sky and sighed, incomparably sad and indignant. There were also some older students who felt the same way. Today's adventure was probably the adventure of a lifetime. It was all the fault of this damned bird. If this damned bird hadn't randomly led the way, they wouldn't have been in such a miserable state. Brother Chen, calm down, you have to calm down. Why are you angry at a bird? There's no need at all. Another bald senior tried to dissuade him. I believe it didn't do it on purpose. Otherwise, we would have started fighting before we found Xia Ping. Calm down, how do you want me to calm down? If this continues, I'm afraid we'll die before Xia Ping dies. Chen Wu was furious. He had never experienced such a thing in his life. Look, the seeking bird is flying away again. It's said that this time, it will definitely find Xia Ping. He is just up ahead. A senior shouted, pointing at the seeking bird flying in the sky. Look! Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The group quickly followed. They had chased to so many places, so it was probably true this time. However, when they arrived at the place where the seeking bird was, their faces all turned green. Seeking bird, you said that Xia Ping is down there. Senior Chen Wui's face darkened. He stared at the bottomless abyss below the cliff, and the sound of howling wind could be heard all around him. The corner of Su Jianhua's mouth twitched. The seeking bird nodded proudly. It pecked with its beak and pointed to the bottom of the abyss, indicating that Xia Ping was definitely there. As long as it jumped down, it would be able to find him. Jump your grandpa. The bald senior student couldn't take it anymore and immediately cursed, Chen Wu, this bird really isn't a good bird. It's definitely a spy sent by Xia Ping. It won't rest until it kills us. Roast it immediately. If they really jumped down according to the seeking bird's instructions, all of them would have to meet their ancestors. He was so angry that he wanted to strangle the seeking bird. I understand now. That kid must have known that we used the seeking bird to track him down. After so many things, Su Jianhua finally understood. He said in a faint tone, that's why that brat threw his things around to mislead us. Obviously, he succeeded. But how did that brat know that we used the seeking bird to find him? Could there be a traitor among us? Don't talk nonsense. This is the first time we've seen him. How could we be his spies? That's right. Don't talk nonsense without evidence. Let's not care about how that brat knew. Since he knew we had the seeking bird and still did this, doesn't that mean we won't be able to find him in the Evil Corpse mountain range? Even if we die, we must find him. He played us like fools and almost caused us to die in such a dangerous place. If we don't take revenge, are we still human? No one can play us without paying the price. That little bastard must die. The group of senior students discussed among themselves. Each of them was filled with endless anger. Their hatred for Xia Ping was monstrous. Originally, they didn't have any enmity with Xia Ping. It was only because of Su Huajian's invitation and the large amount of benefits that they agreed to chase after Xia Ping. But now it was different. After being played by Xia Ping, they all wanted to kill him. Su Jianhua's face was gloomy. The other party knew that he had the seeking bird and deliberately did this to disrupt their tracking. In other words, they had no way of finding Xia Ping. This was a bit troublesome. If he didn't kill Xia Ping in the Evil Corpse mountain range and return to Yanhuang University, he still wouldn't have a chance. Beep beep suddenly, Su Jianhua's communication device rang. He glanced at it. It was a friend he knew. He immediately answered. The other party's voice came, Brother Su, what are you guys doing somewhere else? Hurry up and come over. We found the mysterious Yin fruit in a valley. It seems it will mature in a day or two. Mature soon. Hearing this, Su Jianhua and the others were shocked. If Xia Ping was here, he would definitely be shocked. The mysterious Yin fruit was a rare fruit of heaven and earth. It was born in the mysterious Yin land. It needed 500 years to absorb the Yin qi of heaven and earth, as well as the essence of the sun and moon to grow. A mysterious Yin fruit gathered a large amount of life essence. At the same time, it was also the main ingredient of the mysterious Yin pill. Consuming such a mysterious Yin pill could increase the probability of breaking through to the martial master realm by 20 to 30%. Right now, Su Jianhua and the others were all at the peak of the martial disciple realm. They were only a step away from advancing to the martial master realm. If they could consume a mysterious Yin pill, they might be able to become true martial master experts. Once they could advance to the martial master realm, their status would immediately change dramatically. They could even become true elite students. They would truly stand out. No matter which force they went to, they would become important people. So when they heard the words mysterious Yin fruit, they all held their breath. How is this possible? Didn't they say it would take more than 10 days to mature? How could it be so fast? Su Jianhua frowned. The other party said in a deep voice, I don't know. Maybe something happened in the Evil Corpse mountain range. It caused the Yin qi to become so dense, causing the mysterious Yin fruit to mature earlier. This is a bit troublesome. In short, you guys come over immediately. Don't be followed. Otherwise, if others find out, it will definitely cause a bloody fight. His face was grave. One must know that they were not the only martial disciple ninth heaven experts in the Evil Corpse mountain range. There were also other senior students and even some martial arts experts who had been out for God knows how long. If those experts found out, it would definitely cause a fight. Let's go. Su Jianhua hung up the communication device. He could not care about dealing with Xiaoping now. It was more important for the mysterious Yin fruit to mature. If he could obtain this fruit, he could immediately become a martial master expert. At that time, it would be much easier to kill Xiaoping. Chapter 330. At this moment, in a cave somewhere in the gloomy Corpse mountain range. 2 to 3 days passed in a flash. Xiaoping had been hiding in this cave to cultivate in seclusion. He had taken 3 Dragon Tiger Rui Dan in succession. Immediately, these 3 Dan produced a huge medicinal power, causing the true qi in his body to increase crazily. Soon, the 6th acupoint was filled with true qi, almost reaching the limit. Originally, Xiaoping thought that these 3 Dragon Tiger Rui Dan would allow him to reach the peak of the 6th heaven of the martial warrior realm. However, he had underestimated the medicinal power of the Dragon Tiger Rui Dan. This kind of Dan was extremely precious. Those who were not from the king's clan could not afford it. Moreover, it contained the power of the Dragon Tiger. It was very violent. If a martial artist did not have a strong foundation, they would not be able to withstand this medicinal power. It would cause damage to their meridians. Only the direct descendants of the king's clan like LV Weihai could afford this kind of Dan. However, now that this Dan had fallen into Xiaoping's hands, it could be considered as a great help to him. Now, Xiaoping operated the pure yang immortal secret art and frantically refined the medicinal power in his body. He felt that the true qi in his 6th acupoint had reached the limit. It was as if water had filled a pool and was about to overflow. Bang! At this moment, his body trembled. The true qi in the 6 acupoints rotated like a whirlpool. In an instant, it was connected. A door was finally smashed open by the flood. The 7th heaven of the martial warrior realm. Xiaoping immediately knew that the 7th acupoint in his body had finally been opened under the power of the true qi. His whole body was filled with explosive power. The true qi filled his whole body. The 6 acupoints were also circulating at this moment. It was as if they had formed 2 triangles. They resonated with the 7th acupoint and produced a huge power in the dark. Pai Li Pa La. Xiaoping stood up in an instant. The muscles and bones in his body were vibrating. It was like the roar of thunder. The blood in his body was also surging like a river. The power continued to gush out. With a bang, he punched the air, and a series of explosions occurred. From his shoulder, elbow, and fist, the air produced a series of explosions, and the force of the qi vibrated. The mountain wall in front was easily penetrated. Immediately, a huge pit appeared. Even the gravel turned into powder. There was not even a sound. I have finally reached the advanced martial warrior realm. Xiaoping lamented. After clearing the 7th acupoint and reaching Fighter 7 Dan, he could feel his strength increasing by more than 2-fold. The Jinqi in his body seemed to have an additional powerful engine. Every move he made now was filled with tyrannical power. Even at a distance of 300 to 400 meters, it was enough to turn a raging bull into minced meat. His might was terrifying to the extreme. Even an ordinary martial artist of the 9th heaven might not be a match for Xiaoping. Congratulations to the host for gaining 30,000 hatred points. At this time, the system's voice sounded. Xiaoping's eyes flashed. He immediately sensed the information from the system and found that these hatred points were provided by Su Jianhua and the others. It was estimated that the trap he set worked, causing them to be very miserable, and everyone's hatred points soared. Su Jianhua. Soon we will meet again. Xia Ping clenched his fists as a cold light flashed in his eyes. He was being chased by Su Jianhua and the others, so he could only temporarily avoid them. But from now on, those people might not be his opponents. If Su Jianhua dared to appear in front of him, he would definitely be able to kill him. System, where are Su Jianhua and the others right now? Spend the hatred points and inquire immediately. Xia Ping asked. The system replied, yes, host. With a bang, a message immediately poured into Xia Ping's mind. What? Profoundine fruit. Those guys can actually find such a strange fruit of heaven and earth, and it will mature after a while? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He knew how precious the Profoundine fruit was. It was estimated that even a martial master realm powerhouse would snatch it if they knew about it. Ordinary martial artist realm powerhouses would be even crazier. Great, I didn't expect to get such a strange fruit. Such a treasure must be mine. This is also a little interest from them. Xia Ping immediately decided to snatch it. Treasures like this, even if Su Jianhua didn't have a feud with him, he had to fight for it. Not to mention that Su Jianhua and the others were chasing him. They already had a life and death feud, so it was even more impossible for him to let these treasures fall into the hands of others. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Xia Ping could no longer sit still. His figure flickered and he wanted to leave the cave. But when he moved the stone away from the cave, he immediately sensed more than a dozen auras appearing outside. What's going on? Xia Ping immediately looked over and saw more than a dozen beautiful girls bathing in the lake. They were like mermaids swimming around in the lake, just like a painting. Hee hee, Sister Su, our luck is really good. I didn't expect to find such a clean lake in such a godforsaken place like the gloomy Corpse Mountain Range. Although the water here is a bit cold and has an icy chi, which is fatal for ordinary people, it is just right for us warriors. Hee hee, the most important thing is that we can bathe. In the gloomy Corpse Mountain Range, I don't know how many zombies and skeletons we have killed. After staying here for 5 or 6 days, my whole body is greasy. If I don't bathe, I will go crazy. A group of beautiful girls were chatting and constantly swimming. The icy chi in the lake was simply unable to do anything to them. It was all expelled by the chi on their body. And the leader was a beautiful girl. Among the many beautiful girls, she stood out like a crane in a flock of chickens. She had a peerless aura and a pair of eyes that seemed to be able to speak, making people unable to look directly at them. Xia Ping immediately recognized that this was Su Ji, who was ranked second in the freshman ranking competition. Who is it? Su Ji was very sensitive. She seemed to feel some kind of gaze and suddenly cried out. Her eyes revealed a trace of coldness as if she felt the chi on Xia Ping's body. Then she slapped towards the void behind her with a palm that contained a strong force. This was the power of the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm. Xia Ping also made a move and threw a punch. Bang! 2 tyrannical forces collided and the force shot out in all directions. The ground was immediately blasted into a huge deep pit and gravel flew in all directions. What's going on? Someone was peeping and was discovered by Sister Su. Who has such big guts to actually dare to peep at us bathing? Aren't they afraid of death? Sisters, quickly put on your clothes. Otherwise, we will suffer a big loss. Catch that bastard. Catch that pervert. I have never suffered such a big loss in my life. After we catch him, immediately confiscate his tools. A group of girls exclaimed. Their movements were very fast. They jumped out of the lake and quickly put on their clothes. When the smoke and dust dispersed, all of them stared angrily at the strange man who appeared in front of them. Su Ji's movements were also very fast. She quickly put on her clothes and wrapped the important parts of her body. Her beautiful eyes revealed a murderous look. Her body was like a little bird as she landed on the smooth marble floor. Chapter 331. TSK, I didn't expect to have this kind of benefit after coming out of closed-door training. Good figure. Xia Ping touched his chin and looked at the group of women. All of them were above average, with exquisite curves. Especially Su Ji, she was simply a generation seductress, many times better looking than in the photo. Her body exuded a seductive aura, incomparably charming. If placed in ancient times, she would probably be the type of character like Su Daji or Yang Guifei. Good figure. Hearing this, the group of women went mad. This hateful pervert came to the lake to peep at them bathing. Not only did he not recognize the wrong person, but he also commented on their good figure. He was too arrogant. They had never seen such an arrogant pervert in their life. He was so lawless. When did you appear here to peep at us? Su Ji's pretty face revealed a trace of killing intent. She was very surprised because before coming to the lake, they had already explored the surrounding area, and there was no one here. But this kid appeared silently. If not for her extremely keen perception of sight, perhaps she wouldn't have found out that this kid appeared in this place. If she didn't find out, they would have suffered a loss in vain. They wouldn't even know that the other party had taken advantage of them. Hearing this, Xia Ping waved his hand and said, "You misunderstood me. I am not a pervert. I just happened to appear here, and you happen to be bathing here. Everything is just a coincidence. And I am not peeping. I was just watching you bathing. I was afraid to disturb you, so I didn't make a sound." He showed a righteous look, wanting to correct a point. Fart. A woman stood up, half dead with anger. "Your behavior is clearly peeping." The woman next to her blushed and trembled. "What do you mean I was afraid to disturb them when I bathing, so I didn't make a sound?" This was the first time they heard someone say such a shameless act of peeping in such a fresh and refined way. It was simply shameless to the extreme. Su Ji's face was also very dark. She felt that this bastard's face was not ordinary thick. She estimated that even a laser couldn't penetrate it. If this is not peeping, then what is? I think I can explain this behavior. For example, we can switch roles. Xia Ping said carelessly, "For example, the people bathing in the lake are all muscular men, and a woman accidentally came here. Do you think that woman is peeping? This shouldn't be considered." A girl was stunned and answered subconsciously. Xia Ping spread his hands and said, "That's it." By the same logic, why is it not voyeurism for a woman to watch a group of men bathing, but it is voyeurism for a man to watch a group of women bathing? This is purely a misunderstanding of concepts, an old and outdated concept that should be swept into the garbage heap of history. To be honest, it's an era where men and women are equal. You're all students of Yanhuang University, representing the most advanced class of mankind. It's hilarious that you still have such old-fashioned ideas. Speaking of which, it's just a glance. It's not like I'll lose a piece of flesh. Why are you so angry? He guided her patiently. A girl with big eyes was fooled. She subconsciously nodded and said, "That's right, big sister. This guy seems to have a point. Being looked at won't hurt you." The other girls were also a little confused. They actually felt that this bastard's words made sense. Stupid. Su Ji was so angry that she knocked the girl's head. "Don't listen to this shameless rogue's bluff. He's clearly twisting words and forcing logic. That's what a pervert is like." The girl with big eyes felt wronged and lowered her head. Su Ji stared at Xia Ping, clenched her fist, and exuded a tyrannical martial arts aura. "No matter how you twist words and force logic today, don't even think of running away. I'll make you stay." "Big sister Su, you're right. This is not an ordinary thief. He's a pervert with a glib tongue. His mouth is too powerful. I don't know how many people he's fooled. Maybe there are also many ignorant girls who have been fooled and defiled by this bastard. If that's the case, he's not only a pervert, but also a pervert who does all kinds of evil. Who cares about equality between men and women? Let's catch him first and beat him to vent our anger. That's right. Let's catch this bastard first and beat him into a pig's head. Sisters, don't hold back. Beat him first, and then confiscate his tools. Surround this kid immediately. Don't let him escape. A group of women shouted one after another. They all made their moves. All of them are martial arts experts. Among them, there is no lack of martial artists' sixth heaven. It can be said that each of them is a martial arts elite. In the blink of an eye, their palms slapped out. A heavy palm print appeared in the air. This kind of thick palm power is enough to split mountains. If an ordinary martial artist is hit, it is estimated that they will immediately fall to the ground with serious injuries and cough up blood. Xia Ping also made a move. His hands turned into a circle, like Tai Chi. He operated the Northern Dark Body Protection technique. A tyrannical true energy immediately covered his whole body, forming an impenetrable protective shield. Bang bang bang. Suddenly, more than a dozen tyrannical palm power slapped over and fiercely bombarded Xia Ping's body. However, they were instantly digested and absorbed, and even produced a tyrannical countershock. With a boom, these women were shocked. How could they have thought that their attacks not only had no effect on Xia Ping, but even this force was bounced back? Caught off guard, their whole body was blown away by this force. The clothes on their bodies were immediately shattered. One by one, they fell to the ground, revealing their spring scenery. How is this possible? A group of women were shocked. They now really realized that this kid is not only an ordinary perverted thief, but also a strong perverted thief. Sure enough, the figure is indeed good. It's much more exciting than watching some artistic action movies. Xia Ping said with a smile, looking up and down at the graceful figure of this group of women. Artistic action movies? Hearing this, all of their faces turned black. This guy's dog mouth can't spit out ivory. His mouth is so cheap. He actually compared them with that kind of artist. It's too hateful. But now they can't fight back against this bastard, because their clothes are all torn. One by one, they jumped into the lake and temporarily hid their bodies. Otherwise, they would be taken advantage of by this kid. Although it's big enough now. Who are you? What's your name? The only one who didn't make a move was Su Ji. She stared at Xia Ping and felt that this man was very unusual. Even an ordinary freshman was not so terrifying. He might be a senior student of Yanhuang University. Chapter 332. Zhong Family, Zhong Yuan. Su Ji's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of coldness. So that's how it is. Royal family, Zhong family, descendant of a royal family. No wonder you're so unbridled and openly did such a shameless thing. Is it because you have the backing of a royal family? She revealed a look of understanding. After all, she was also born into a royal family. Naturally, she knew how arrogant and insufferably arrogant the descendants of a royal family were. She reckoned that this Zhong Yuan was also one of those good-for-nothings who relied on the glory of his ancestors. I didn't expect you to know about the Zhong family. That makes things easier. Xia Ping raised his nose to the sky and said in a very domineering manner, to be honest, people like me who come from a royal family are born to be nobles. Being able to watch you bathe is already giving you face. It's your honor. If I can take a fancy to some of you girls, wouldn't that be like flying up a branch and transforming into a phoenix? I think you should seize this opportunity to curry favor with me. If you miss this opportunity, there won't be another one. He revealed an insufferably arrogant appearance. You! Su Ji clenched her fist. She wished she could immediately rush forward and beat this bastard up. She wanted to punch his hateful face a few hundred times. She had never seen such a shameless person in her life. After doing such a bad thing, he still dared to say that it was their honor and asked them to curry favor with him. Who did this bastard think he was? Being born into a royal family made him so arrogant and condescending. Damn it, I didn't expect the men from a royal family to be this kind of people. Although Sister Sue is also a member of a royal family, she's not as domineering as him. He's simply a scum. With so many royal families, there will always be a few scum. A piece of rat shit spoils a pot of soup. This Zhong Yuan is not a good thing. He looks like a dog, but he has a golden exterior and is rotten inside. The group of girls also clenched their teeth. They had seen many men, but they had never seen this kind of man. This was the first time they had seen such an annoying man. He was simply the best of the best. This bastard had probably seen many vain girls, but he thought that all the girls in the world were like this. Each and every one of them would come forward to curry favor with him. What a joke! Even if they had to marry a pig or a dog, they would never give themselves to this bastard. Sister Sue, don't listen to that bastard's nonsense. He's not Zhong Yuan at all. The girl with big eyes immediately said, I suddenly remembered. He's Xia Ping, the first place in the freshman ranking competition. She took out her smart watch, and with a ding sound, Xia Ping's image was immediately projected. What? Seeing this virtual projection, the group of girls were dumbfounded. They never thought that this kid was actually the legendary Xia Ping, the guy who had surpassed their elder sister, the top freshman. How is this possible? Didn't they say that Xia Ping was only at the fifth heaven of the martial warrior realm? But looking at his true chi now, he is at least at the seventh celestial layer, a girl said. The big-eyed girl was also a little puzzled and said, yeah, it's because it's strange that I couldn't think of it for a while. But this guy's appearance is definitely Xia Ping, exactly the same as in the photo. Bastard! Hearing these words, Su Ji clenched her fist. She was so angry that she was about to explode. How could she not know that she had been fooled by this bastard? If she foolishly went to find trouble with the Zhong family, she would probably fall into this kid's evil trick. At that time, it would cause a dispute between the Su family and the Zhong family, and the trouble would be big. Have I been exposed so quickly? Xia Ping touched his chin and said with a little regret. His reputation was still too big. He originally thought that he could trick others. You actually dare to fool me? Go to hell. Su Ji clenched her teeth and struck out with her palm. A terrifying force erupted. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In midair, a dense palm shadow appeared. It even contained a power that could confuse one's mind. It carried a trace of fragrance, causing Xia Ping to be in a trance, as if his mind had been hooked away. This was a trace of the mysterious power of Su Ji's demon fox bloodline. It had the power to confuse one's mind. This mental power was simply 10 times more terrifying than LV Weihai's. Powerful. Xia Ping operated the pure yang immortal art, immediately isolating himself from this mental power's confusion. At the same time, he struck out with his fist. Like a shark leaping out of the water, it was fierce, decisive, and powerful. Bang! The two forces collided, and an explosion occurred in midair. The ground was shaken by the terrifying force, and a deep pit appeared. Crushed stones flew in all directions, sand and dust billowed, and dozens of cracks appeared on the ground. Su Ji also felt this tyrannical power. She couldn't help but take a few steps back. Her beautiful eyes were a little shocked. This palm technique of hers could confuse a martial artist's mind. Usually, an ordinary martial artist would be defeated by her palm without knowing what happened. The only people who could resist her mental power were those with king's bloodline. However, this kid didn't seem to belong to any king's clan. Yet, he was able to resist her attack, and even counterattack calmly. This was a bit powerful. I didn't expect that my identity would be seen through by you guys. Then, I won't play with you guys anymore. See you next time. Xia Ping, however, borrowed this power to quickly retreat and flew away. He also didn't want to continue playing with this group of women because he had more important things to do. According to the system's prediction, the profoundine fruit was about to ripen. He couldn't continue to waste time here. Don't even think about running. How could Su Ji just watch as Xia Ping ran away? She immediately chased after him. However, she didn't know how powerful Xia Ping's Kunpeng steps was. His speed was incomparably fast. With a single step, he traversed over 100 meters. It was impossible for her to catch up. In just a few breaths, Xia Ping's figure disappeared from the valley. Damn it! Soon, Su Ji couldn't sense Xia Ping's figure anymore. She immediately became furious, but she had no other choice but to return to the valley. Sister Su, did you find that perverted thief? I definitely didn't find him. Otherwise, Sister Su would have brought him here. I didn't expect that perverted thief to be Xia Ping. He's too despicable, shameless, and filthy. That Xia Ping is a beast. I've long heard that this bastard went through the school's back door in order to become the #1 freshman. This is already considered a moral corruption. But now, he actually came to peep at us bathing. He even wanted to pretend to be Zhong Yuan and divert the trouble. Shameless to the extreme. Fortunately, we exposed his identity in time. Otherwise, if we were foolishly fooled by him, we would have been fooled. We must go to the school's forum and expose this bastard's shameless behavior so that the public will spurn him. This kind of person appearing in Yanhuang University is simply a disgrace to the school. The group of girls were extremely angry. Chapter 333. At night, somewhere in the Evil Corpse mountain range. Not even a blade of grass grew here, everywhere was bare, the ground was covered with blood-colored soil, the air was filled with a gray haze, it was extremely depressing. If an ordinary person appeared here, they would not be able to hold on for a long time, 10 seconds later they would be poisoned and fall to the ground, the environment here was extremely harsh. However, Su Jianhua and the others came to this valley, they were not afraid of the poisonous haze at all, they operated their true qi, expelling the poisonous haze from their bodies, their faces were full of joy as they came to the center of the valley. In the center of the valley, there was a gray plant growing, there was not a single leaf on the whole body, it was bare, like a human skeleton, but on the branch of this plant hung a gray fruit. This gray fruit had a circle of strange lines, it was surrounded by a layer of silver light, the moonlight from the sky fell down, it seemed to be absorbed, the moonlight was like the waves of the ocean, the scene was astonishing. Even if it was a person who did not know, seeing this scene, they would know that this gray fruit was definitely a rare treasure. Great, the profoundine fruit is really about to ripen. A senior student was extremely happy. It was not a waste of our hard work for so long, we even spent a lot of points to exchange for a lot of treasures to cultivate this strange tree, speeding up the ripening of the profoundine fruit. After working so hard for so long, there is also a harvest. Once we get this profoundine fruit, we can immediately take it back to the school, spend points, and ask the school teachers to help us refine the profoundine pill. Hee, if we can get the profoundine pill, breaking through to the martial master realm is just around the corner, at that time we will all be elite students of Yanhuang University, we can stand out. A group of senior students looked at the fruit in the center of the valley with incomparable desire, they were very clear what kind of treasure this was, even in the school, points could not exchange for a diluted treasure. If it appeared, it would definitely cause a huge commotion, it was unknown how many experts would come to snatch it. Fortunately, this place was the Evil Corpse mountain range, experts above the martial master realm could not enter, so they had this kind of opportunity, to be able to obtain such a fortuitous encounter. Su Jianhua suppressed the excitement in his heart, and said in a deep voice, "Everyone be careful, when the profoundine fruit ripens, there will definitely be an astonishing scene, it will attract who knows how many corpse kings, at that time these corpse kings will be our opponents." He was very cautious. I'm not worried about the corpse king. It's just a bunch of undead creatures. There's a limit to how strong they are. What I'm most worried about is that the news of the valley will leak out. If the other students find out, I'm afraid there will be a bloodbath. I've already observed the surrounding area for more than 10 kilometers, and there isn't anyone around. After all, this place is remote, and there aren't many people around. It won't be so easy to bump into other seniors. Hee, I actually hope to meet that Xia Ping in this place. If that's the case, I can easily kill him and save so much time, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Ha, that's a good idea, but it's not realistic. If that Xia Ping accidentally came to this place and saw so many experts gathered here, he would have pissed his pants long ago. How would he dare to come forward? He's just a little freshman. So what if he's the number 1 among the new students? I can kill him with a single slap. I'll kill him like a dog. Speaking of which, I have another idea. Even if he couldn't find Xia Ping through the seeking bird, he could still find Xia Ping's friends. It was said that he had a few female confidants. As long as we capture those people, why would we need to worry about that kid not giving in? Not bad, that's a good idea. Why didn't we think of this just now? What a pity. But it's not too late. After we get the profoundine fruit, we'll go and capture those girls. At that time, no matter how strong that little bastard is, he will have to obediently give in, unless he wants his girlfriend to die. Many of the seniors discussed animatedly, and their eyes revealed a cruel look as they thought of many evil plans. Su Jianhua was very tempted. Just now, he had indeed taken a detour, and was almost driven mad by that kid's tricks, so he didn't think of this for a while. But it was not too late now. After this matter was over, it would be Xia Ping's time to die. He absolutely couldn't escape. At this time, on a huge rock somewhere in the valley, a figure was hidden, blending into the surrounding scenery. This person was Xia Ping, who had just rushed over, and he had also heard these people's words. Sure enough, these people deserve to die. Xia Ping clenched his fists, and a deep murderous aura appeared in the depths of his eyes. Humans didn't have the intention to harm the tiger, but the tiger would eat people's hearts. If these people didn't die, it would be his turn to be unlucky. However, he didn't make a move, and was waiting for an opportunity. He also took out the moon-shooting bow from his spatial ring, and calmed his mind. His mental power was highly concentrated, like a cheetah, looking for an opportunity to kill. Look, the profoundine fruit is about to ripen. A senior suddenly shouted. When the moon rose into the sky, it was also the most dazzling time. A silver beam of light descended from the sky, pouring into the profoundine fruit. Walala, a silver light appeared in the surroundings, rolling like the sea, and surging like the waves. The strange patterns on the profoundine fruit's surface burst out with a silver radiance, as if it had turned into a silver gem. A strange fragrance filled the surroundings, filling the entire valley. Those who smelled this fragrance immediately felt their spirits rise, as if their martial cultivation had improved by a lot. Bang bang bang. At this moment, the soil near the gray tree immediately exploded, and terrifying cracks appeared. Immediately, 40 to 50 corpse kings jumped out, and a terrifying evil aura erupted, sweeping a radius of several kilometers. Each of them had the strength of the peak of the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm. They all pounced over in a frenzy, their eyes red, because this profoundine fruit was also an opportunity for them to break through, to advance to a higher realm, and even to break away from the shackles of the gloomy Corpse Mountain range. Damn, these corpse kings are actually hiding underground, no wonder we didn't discover them. Hurry up and make a move, otherwise these corpse kings will snatch the profoundine fruit. They are just a group of creatures that died long ago, and they dare to fight with the living for treasures? Kill them again. Seeing this situation, the faces of the group of senior students changed greatly. Don't be stingy, take out the geomagnetic thunder immediately, and blow up these corpse kings. Su Jianhua immediately shouted. He took out a black ball, pulled the fuse, and threw it over. The other senior students also did not hesitate, taking out their own geomagnetic thunder and throwing it over. Geomagnetic thunder. Xia Ping's pupils shrank. Before coming to the gloomy corpse mountain range, he had also looked up some of the school's methods to deal with undead creatures, and one of them was a bomb like the geomagnetic thunder. Once it was detonated, it would immediately burst out hundreds of lightning, covering a radius of 1 kilometer. Its power was infinite, and after thousands of shocks, even a corpse king would be blown to death. It could be said to be a powerful method to deal with undead creatures. But it was also very expensive. Such a geomagnetic thunder was worth 2,000 points, and ordinary students were not willing to exchange for it. Chapter 334. More than a dozen geomagnetic mines exploded at the same time. Thousands of lightning snakes appeared in the sky, winding in the dark night and emitting a terrifying aura as they bombarded the zombie kings. The zombie kings' eyes were filled with terror. They also felt that they were doomed, but facing such lightning power, they could not dodge at all, nor could they escape. Bang bang bang. The power of the lightning descended and smashed onto their heads. Screams rang out as their entire bodies were electrocuted into charcoal, turning into pieces. In just a few breaths, the 40 to 50 zombie kings that wanted to fight for the profoundine fruit were all killed. Not a single one was left. This was the terrifying power of human technology. Even if individual strength was not a match for these zombie kings, these bombs were enough to easily kill them. However, this method was too expensive. Normal people could not afford it. Hurry up and pick the profoundine fruit. These dozens of king corpses are just the vanguard. There will definitely be more king corpses that will be attracted over. At that time, we will be surrounded and we will die. Su Jianhua immediately shouted. The reason why they were willing to spend so many points to exchange for the geomagnetic thunder and instantly kill dozens of corpse kings was because they wanted to strike first and immediately snatch the profoundine fruit. When the time came, they would quickly escape and kill the corpse kings, catching them off guard and not able to snatch them in time. Now, it seemed that it was indeed effective. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Hearing this, the 3 seniors closest to the center of the valley immediately rushed over. They were the fastest among the group of seniors, so they naturally shouldered the responsibility of obtaining the profoundine fruit. After all, they were fast and could escape quickly, so they would not be entangled by the other zombie kings. Ha, I got it. A hawk-nosed senior moved extremely quickly and plucked the profoundine fruit in an instant. Endless joy appeared on his face. Seeing this, Su Jianhua and the others were all overjoyed and relieved. In order to obtain the profoundine fruit, they had almost used up all their savings. If they still failed like this, it would be too tragic. Whoosh! 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 At that moment, 3 black arrows suddenly appeared in the air. They shot over like shooting lights, tearing through the air and almost breaking through the sound barrier. Their speed was unbelievably fast. No, no, no. Dodge, dodge. Su Jianhua's senses were the sharpest, and a feeling of extreme danger spread through his body. His hairs stood on end, and he immediately yelled out, hoping to warn his 3 companions. But it was already too late. The 3 seniors had no idea what was going on. When they heard the noise, they only turned their heads to take a look. Bang! In that instant, the 3 arrows pierced through the 3 seniors standing in the middle of the valley. Huge bloody holes appeared on their foreheads, and blood dripped down from them. After the 3 arrows pierced through their skulls, they continued to fly into the distance with unparalleled power. With a dong sound, they flew for several hundred meters and immediately blasted 3 large holes in the mountain wall behind them, sending rocks flying in all directions. As for the 3 seniors who had their heads pierced through, they didn't even know what had happened before they died. Their eyes were wide open, and their pupils were filled with confusion, helplessness, and a hint of fear. With a plop, their corpses fell to the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust. Who was it? Who did it? Who's so daring to kill my people? Su Jianhua was instantly enraged. He was practically stamping his feet with rage, and his lungs were about to explode. Originally, their plan had been very successful. They would use the geomagnetic thunder to kill the group of corpse kings, then quickly snatch the profound Een fruit and escape. Then, everyone would happily consume the profound Een pill and advance to the martial master realm. But now, someone had suddenly appeared and killed 3 of his companions in an instant. One could imagine how furious he was right now. With a whoosh, Xia Ping also walked out from a large rock in the valley, appearing openly in front of these people. Xia Ping, the one who killed our people is Xia Ping. One of the seniors had very sharp eyes and immediately recognized the person who had suddenly appeared to be Xia Ping. His eyes were filled with shock. He had never thought that Xia Ping would actually appear in this place. One had to know that they were just joking before. They didn't think that it would be such a coincidence to run into Xia Ping. Even if it was really such a coincidence, with this brat's strength, he wouldn't be able to escape in time, so how could he appear in front of them? But now, he really appeared, and even killed 3 of them with one move. His ferocity was monstrous. No way, it's really Xia Ping. This little bastard dares to appear in front of us. This is the guy who dares to kill our people. Why is he here? How can he have the strength to kill our people? Seeing Xia Ping appear, a group of people was shocked. They immediately recognized Xia Ping's appearance. It was estimated that even if this brat turned into ashes, they would still be able to recognize him. Their memories were too deep. Some people couldn't believe their eyes because Xia Ping was only in the 5th heaven of the martial artist realm before. He was just an ant that was not worth mentioning. But now, he could actually kill an expert in the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm with one arrow. His strength was so strong that even they felt threatened. This joke was too big. Don't even think about escaping, because I'm here to kill you. Xia Ping looked at this group of people indifferently, his body exuding a terrifying murderous aura. Escape? You think we will escape? Suddenly, a senior was infuriated. He's just a freshman. Even if he is the top freshman, he is only at the 5th heaven of the martial warrior realm. He is as weak as a chicken. With such strength, he wants to scare us away. Don't be too arrogant. Although I don't know what means you used to kill our 3 companions, since you are here, don't think about leaving alive. This is not a school. No teacher can save you. We must settle accounts with him. He has caused us so much trouble before. The eyes of the senior students were filled with deep murderous aura. They stared at Xia Ping covetously. As the saying goes, when enemies meet, their eyes turn red. This was the situation now. And Su Jianhua couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. Xia Ping. Su Jianhua's eyes were red and he roared, "You little bastard, how dare you appear here and kill my people? You are courting death. Do you know that you are courting death? No one in the world can save you." Boom! As soon as his voice fell, Su Jianhua immediately rushed forward. With a stomp of his feet, the ground cracked. His feet suddenly surged with a huge explosive force. The power of the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm instantly broke out. The distance between him and Xia Ping was only more than 100 meters, but with such a full sprint, he arrived in front of Xia Ping in just a few breaths. He exuded an aura like that of a devil, ready to devour people. Fierce Wind Fist. Chapter 335. As expected of Brother Su, he's too strong. Seeing Su Jianhua attack in an instant, many seniors were secretly shocked and impressed. After not seeing him for a while, it seemed that Su Jianhua's fist technique had become even more terrifying and had reached the perfect realm. The punch was like the wail of ghosts and the howl of wolves. The power of the cold and the power of the sun mixed together and exploded instantly. Such a force was enough to tear the earth apart, like a flood bursting through a dam. Even if an expert of the same level faced such power, they would have to avoid it. If they couldn't avoid it in time, they would be killed with one punch, let alone a student who had just entered the school. Xia Ping was no match for him at all. A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. Feeling this power, he didn't dodge at all. He took a step forward and his energy shook. His left hand pinched a flower and his right hand struck out. A golden light erupted from his body and covered his whole body. He was like a Buddha. Vaguely, the sound of Buddha's chanting could be heard in the void, causing the air to shake. Buddha's palm. This palm strike instantly bombarded Su Jianhua's fist. What's going on? Su Jianhua originally thought that his punch would be enough to easily defeat Xia Ping and beat him up like a dog. However, after coming into contact with this palm, he actually felt a violent power that was even stronger than his own. It was as if he was being hit by an angry Vajra's palm. It was extremely fierce. This palm also contained a strong mental power. The golden light flooded over, causing all kinds of strange phenomena in his sea of consciousness. It was as if he was a demon that was about to be subdued. With a bang, he couldn't bear this kind of power and retreated more than 10 meters. His eyes were incomparably shocked. Impossible. How is this possible? Su Jianhua's heart collapsed. He simply couldn't believe it. Even his fist was numb. Aren't you a piece of trash in the fifth heaven? How did you become so strong in just a few days? Even your strength is above mine. Impossible. How could such a ridiculous thing happen? His eyes were filled with extreme shock. The fifth heaven? That was a few days ago. Now, killing you is like killing a dog to me. Xia Ping's palm was like a Vajra Buddha. His palm was covered in golden light, and it was extremely heavy. It descended from the sky and crushed down. The surrounding air vibrated thousands of times and was pushed away like water, emitting ripples. The ground shook and sand and stones flew. It was a shocking scene. Boom! Su Jianhua was unable to block it at all. His fist was broken, and his entire body was unable to withstand this astonishing power. He was sent flying, and let out a miserable shriek like a pig being slaughtered. Kacha! Kacha! He slid horizontally across the ground, creating a 100-meter-long ravine. Finally, he smashed into a rock that weighed several hundred tons, creating a human-shaped hole before he finally stopped. With a pu sound, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. 3 or 4 of his ribs were broken, and he was seriously injured. Ah! Su Jianhua struggled, his face contorted as he shouted, I can't accept this, I can't accept this. He's just a little bastard, what medicine did he take to improve so quickly? Go! Kill him together. Kill him. He couldn't accept such a fact at all. He was also a third-year senior student of Yanhuang University, and he had only advanced to the Fighter 9th Heaven realm after 3 years of hard work. He was only one step away from breaking through to the Martial Master realm and becoming an elite student of Yanhuang University. In this way, he would be the best among the students, and he could finally stand out. However, this kid had only been at Yanhuang University for a few days, and his strength had actually surpassed him. With 2 palms, he was beaten like a dog. How could he accept such a thing? This Xia Ping is too terrifying. In just a few days, he has advanced from the 5th heaven realm to the 7th heaven realm and opened 7 acupoints. This kind of thing is unheard of. He is already so powerful now. In the future, he will be promoted to the Martial Master realm and become an elite student of Yanhuang University. That's a sure thing. In the future, we can only look up to him, and we are not even worthy to carry his shoes. Moreover, we have offended him and formed a death feud. If he is strong and becomes an elite student, it will be too easy for him to kill us. With just a word, we will have to die. This kid must die. We must not let him continue to grow. A group of senior students looked ferocious. They looked at each other and saw the killing intent in each other. A few days ago, he was just an ant that they could kill at will and they did not take him seriously at all. However, a few days later, he actually grew to the existence of an existence that could kill them at will. This aptitude was terrible, which made them frightened and filled them with killing intent. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In an instant, 2 or 3 senior students rushed out immediately. They were proficient in the 3 talents fighting technique and cooperated with each other. Some were proficient in fist techniques, some were proficient in palm techniques, and some were proficient in leg techniques. It could be said that when the 3 of them joined forces, it was not as simple as 1 + 1. The combat power that erupted was extremely terrifying, and they could deal with 5 or 6 experts of the 9th heaven realm at the same time. Violent true chi gushed out of their bodies. Like jackals, they were extremely fast. They split into 3 different directions and pounced. Even if Xia Ping had 3 heads and 6 arms, he could at most resist 2 of them. As long as one could get close to Xia Ping, they could seriously injure this kid and smash his internal organs. The so-called 2 fists could not fight against 4 hands. Stupid. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. His mental strength spread out, and the whole heaven and earth with his body as the center formed a huge circle, covering the surroundings. He could perceive everything around him clearly. He stood on 1 foot and stretched out a finger. His clothes fluttered without wind, and a faint shadow of a white crane appeared behind him. A piercingly cold sword essence gushed out. The 8th style of the Wanshou fist, white crane slash. This was a move that was even more terrifying than the giant elephant axe. It was the move that the Wanshou immortal imitated the peerless sword god White Crane Demon King. It contained a trace of supreme sword truth. When this move was used, everything in the world could be used as a sword. It was indestructible. When cultivated to the extreme, a finger could be used to shoot down stars and tear the sky from thousands of miles away. In an instant, dozens of transparent sword chi immediately appeared in the air. When each sword chi blasted out, it seemed to have a Tao trajectory. It was extremely fast and broke through the sound barrier. These sword chi exploded around Xia Ping's body and blasted out in all directions. Oh no! The 3 seniors were shocked. They had goosebumps. They did not expect Xia Ping to have such a terrifying fist technique. This was more than 10 times more terrifying than ordinary sword truth cultivation method. This was a pure killing method. However, it was too late for them to dodge. The speed of these sword chi was too fast, and they were only a few meters away from Xia Ping. With such a fast speed and such a short distance, how could they dodge? Bang! Bang! In the next second, their chests, heads, and limbs were immediately pierced by the terrible sword chi. Immediately, dozens of bloody holes appeared, and blood flowed out. Chapter 336. No, no, no. Su Jianhua and others were dumbfounded. 3 more companions died tragically in the hands of Xia Ping. They felt as if their hearts were being squeezed by the big hand of the devil, and they could hardly breathe. It should be known that these 3 seniors were also first-class masters among them. They were very likely to be promoted to the martial master realm, but now they were also dead. They were killed by Xia Ping in 1 move and could not even get close to this kid. Son of a bitch, go to hell. You killed our people, I want your life. Go to hell. Such a beast can't live in this world. At this moment, 3 more seniors rushed up, some holding spears, some holding broadswords, and some holding long swords. All of them were masters who were proficient in all kinds of weapons. Someone stabbed at Xia Ping's head with a spear, and a cold light flashed in the night. The tip of the spear contained a penetrating force that could destroy anything. Even titanium alloy would be easily pierced by this spear. Someone slashed at Xia Ping's back with a knife from midair. It was powerful and heavy, as if it was going to split Mount Hua with a knife. It had the momentum of a tiger, roaring in the void, and even the earth seemed to be shaken by this knife. Someone slashed at Xia Ping's chest with a sword. It was extremely fast, like a small silver snake. The angle was tricky, and it was extremely ruthless. It exuded a terrible evil spirit that made people's hearts cold. This kid is dead. Su Jianhua sneered, his eyes vicious like a poisonous snake. The others also nodded, thinking that there was no accident. Because the three people seized the opportunity when Xia Ping killed the others with one move and instantly launched a sneak attack, wanting to end Xia Ping's life. It had to be said that the timing was really good. At this time, Xia Ping had just killed 3 seniors with one move. He must have consumed a lot of true qi. At this time, the old force had just been used up, and the new force had not been generated. In the face of the fierce attacks of the 3 people, how could this guy resist? There was no way to resist. Although 3 seniors in the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm sneak attacked a freshman at the same time, this kind of behavior was more or less despicable, but in order to kill this kid, despicable was nothing. Anyway, they were all enemies, and there was a great hatred between them. It was impossible for them to show mercy. Bang bang bang. Unsurprisingly, the 3 senior spears, blades and swords all struck Xia Ping's body fiercely. The resulting shockwave sent up a cloud of dust. With Xia Ping's body as the center, he was bombarded by a huge force. Immediately, a huge pit appeared, and cracks that looked like spider webs appeared. Die! Su Jianhua's eyes revealed a look of satisfaction. This brat was finally dead. He had killed 2 of his cousins, and even 5 or 6 of his companions had been killed by this brat. He did not know how angry he was in his heart. However, when he thought about how such a genius that would become a monstrous genius at the king realm in the future had finally perished at his hands, he couldn't help but feel a trace of satisfaction in his heart. He felt that he'd killed a king realm expert, and it was an honor that countless people didn't possess. Impossible. But when the smoke and dust dispersed, Su Jianhua and the others were all stunned. They saw that Xia Ping was still standing in the same place, alive. His head, chest, and back were not pierced. The broadsword, spear, and sword were all blocked by layers of thin innate qi shields. No matter how hard the 3 seniors tried, even if they used all their strength and their faces were flushed red, they couldn't break through this layer of defense. When these people attacked, Xia Ping immediately activated Dark North Body Protection Technique. His body was covered with a layer of innate qi defense, like a stream of water, constantly weakening the attack power of these 3 people. No matter how powerful these people's attacks were, they couldn't penetrate his defense. What kind of body protection technique is this? How can it be so strong that even weapons can't penetrate it? Su Jianhua and the others simply couldn't believe it. This kind of body protection technique probably couldn't even be done by a king-level technique. I'm afraid this is a technique even more terrifying than a king-level technique. But what kind of technique is it? They can't imagine, because this is already beyond their imagination. Kill. Xia Ping was not interested in explaining this to them. With a roar, the sound wave vibrated, and the word, kill, turned into a syllable, condensed into substance, containing terrifying mental power. Heavenly Dragon 8 Music. This kind of sound wave is terrifying to the extreme. Promoted to the 7th heaven of the warrior realm, Xia Ping not only greatly increased the innate qi in his body, but even his mental power has increased a lot. The power of Heavenly Dragon 8 sounds is simply exponential. With a roar, even metal will be shattered, and the air will condense into substance, turning into waves. And these 3 seniors just attacked Xia Ping's body, there was no chance to dodge, and they were hit by this move. Bang bang bang. They let out miserable screams, their internal organs, hearts, and heads were all shaken into powder, and blood flowed out of their eyes, noses, mouths, and other places. Even the long spear, broadsword, long sword, and other weapons in their hands were shaken into pieces of scrap iron, falling to the ground with a clatter, splashing dust on the ground. With a plop, the 3 of them fell to the ground one by one, already dead. Silence. The scene was silent. Seeing this scene, Su Jianhua and the other 5 seniors who were still alive were speechless. It was clearly a sneak attack by 3 experts of the 9th heaven of the warrior realm, but they couldn't kill this kid, and instead were killed by Xia Ping. Such a scene was too shocking, and they were so scared that they couldn't say anything. Have you thought about how to die? Xia Ping looked at Su Jianhua and the others indifferently. He would not let any of the people present go, and he had to kill all of them. Otherwise, if they escaped back to Yanhuang University, it would be big trouble. Run quickly, this kid is simply a monster. Damn it, this time we kicked an iron plate. Go back, let's go back now. I also know a lot of elite students, martial master realm experts. Find a few seniors, I don't believe that they can't deal with him, and then we can avenge our dead companions. Don't talk nonsense, run quickly. Seeing Xia Ping's condensed gaze, Su Jianhua and the others trembled all over. Seeing that Xia Ping killed most of their companions in a few breaths, they could no longer be arrogant. Instead, they were scared half to death, and they no longer had the courage to fight. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Su Jianhua rushed over, picked up the mysterious Yin fruit and ran, and the others also quickly fled, displaying their extreme speed. Escape? Xia Ping clenched his fists, and a trace of joy welled up in his heart. Thinking about how arrogant they were in Yanhuang University, in public, they attacked as they pleased, bullied others, and did not put anyone in their eyes, but now they were fleeing like stray dogs. They didn't even have the courage to fight him. As the saying goes, the river flows east for 30 years, and the river flows west for 30 years. Chapter 337. Xia Ping stood in the same place and drew the bow. His mental strength penetrated into the moon-shooting bow and integrated into it. When he advanced to the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm and reached the advanced martial artist realm, his mental strength had greatly increased. When he integrated his mental strength into the bow again, he could feel the profoundness of the bow. There were traces of unique lines and ancient inscriptions on the bow. It seemed to contain a mysterious power. It was because of this mysterious power that this bow was extraordinary and terrifying. Buzz Xia Ping infused all the qi in his body into the bow. The qi in the 7 acupoints circulated and the entire bow trembled, emitting waves of silver light like the moonlight. Swish! 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 In an instant, he shot out 4 arrows in succession. They tore through the air like silver light and shot towards the 4 seniors in front of him with terrifying power. Boom! Separated by 200 to 300 meters, the 4 seniors thought that they could escape from Xia Ping's attack range and escape with their lives. However, they suddenly heard a slight sound of something tearing through the air. In the next second, with a poochie sound, an arrow pierced through their throats. Blood dripped out. 4 arrows pierced through their throats and flew for a kilometer before finally being nailed to the mountain wall, causing gravel to fly everywhere. The 4 seniors covered their throats that were bleeding and their eyes were filled with endless horror. They wanted to say something but couldn't because their necks were already leaking air. With a plop, they fell to the ground. Their eyes were wide open, revealing expressions of unwillingness, regret, and fear. They regretted so much that their intestines turned green. If they had known that Xia Ping was so terrifying, they would never have come to provoke him. However, it was all too late. Damn it, damn it. When Su Jianhua saw that the remaining 4 of his companions had been killed by Xia Ping, he immediately felt a chill in his body and rushed to the top of his head. He also regretted that he had actually provoked such a fierce god. But now, he didn't dare to stay at all. He desperately tried to escape from the valley. You should die too. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He drew the bow and knocked an arrow, wanting to shoot Su Jianhua to death. Su Jianhua immediately felt as if there was a primordial fierce beast staring at his back. No matter how he ran, he couldn't escape. Rumble! At that moment, the ground outside the valley began to shake, and a large amount of gray mist surged out. The ground immediately froze, and a layer of white frost appeared. The temperature of the entire valley dropped by dozens of degrees. Then, terrifying king corpses rushed over. There were at least a few hundred of them. Each king corpses had the strength of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm. In an instant, they surrounded the entire valley. There's hope, there's finally hope. Su Jianhua was immediately overjoyed. He knew that these corpse kings must have been attracted by the fragrance of the profoundine fruit. If it was before, he felt that these corpse kings would be a huge problem. But now, with these corpse kings blocking Xia Ping, he had a chance to escape. Willow leaf steps. Su Jianhua immediately charged towards the corpse kings. His entire body was like a willow leaf, fluttering in the wind. Even though the corpse kings were right in front of him, they couldn't hurt him at all. Whenever the corpse king's palm came, his body would dodge like a willow leaf. In just a few breaths of time, he had already run over 100 meters, weaving through the bodies of these corpse kings to escape. I can't aim. Xia Ping frowned. With these corpse kings blocking here, he couldn't lock on to Su Jianhua at all. He could only watch as Su Jianhua escaped. Ha, there's no other way. Seeing this scene, Su Jianhua was immediately overjoyed. His mood was extremely comfortable. With these corpse kings blocking, his opponent's terrifying archery skills couldn't be displayed. Although Xia Ping had killed all his companions this time, as long as he was still alive, he would definitely be able to take revenge. He wasn't even the slightest bit sad. Instead, he was a little secretly happy. The people around him were all dead, so this profoundine fruit would be monopolized by him. This was a huge benefit. Perhaps from this point of view, he had to be grateful to Xia Ping for killing those people around him. This way, he wouldn't need to share a portion of this profoundine fruit with others and could monopolize all the benefits. Don't worry, I will definitely help you take revenge. Su Jianhua clenched his fist, his eyes revealing a cold gleam. Once I advance to the martial master realm, I will immediately think of a way to kill this despicable Xia Ping and take his head as a sacrifice to your souls in heaven. He used the willow leaf steps to the extreme, skillfully passing through these corpse kings' bodies. No matter how the corpse kings attacked, they couldn't harm him at all. Don't even think of running. Xia Ping definitely wouldn't let Su Jianhua escape. If such a person escaped, who knew how much trouble it would bring? As the main culprit, Su Jianhua would definitely die. Bang! He put away the moon-shooting bow and stomped on the ground. In an instant, his feet created two huge deep pits. Terrifying cracks appeared on the ground, extending for several kilometers. With a boom, Xia Ping's feet produced a huge explosive force. He flew out like a kunpeng. Two wings seemed to have grown on his back as he rode on the air currents to advance. In just an instant, he covered a distance of several hundred meters in an instant. How is this possible? Feeling the ground tremble, Su Jianhua couldn't help but look back. He was shocked to find that Xia Ping had covered a distance of several hundred meters in an instant and was directly tens of meters away from him. Roar! A large number of corpse kings on the ground felt this aura of life. All of them let out roars, and a deathly aura soared into the sky. Even the soil was dyed black, as if they had been deeply cursed. If ordinary people were to be attacked by this aura in this place, they would immediately be turned into zombies. Unmovable Buddha's palm. The swastika symbol seemed to flash in Xia Ping's eyes. His whole body was wrapped in golden true qi. Like a Buddha, he stretched out his palm and descended from the sky, slapping towards the ground. When the palm blasted out, it immediately formed a huge golden palm. The golden color exploded, and the sound of countless Buddhas chanting rang out in the void. It was solemn, sacred, and vast, like the Buddha of the past. Awe! These corpse kings all let out miserable screams, more miserable than pigs being slaughtered. Feeling the boundless Buddha's light, they felt as if they had been attacked by acid, and a large amount of white fog came out of their bodies. Dong! The palm slapped the ground fiercely. It was like the morning bell and evening drum, sweeping away all the haze. Hundreds of corpse kings immediately turned into ashes and were smashed into powder. The ground produced a terrifying tremor, and a rumbling sound was heard. Chapter 338. Is this guy a monster? Su Jianhua's eyes almost popped out. He was only at the seventh heaven of the martial warrior realm, but he was so terrifying. Even if he cultivated a cultivation method that could restrain dead creatures, he was not this powerful. With one palm, hundreds of king corpses were turned into ashes. It was too exaggerated. It was no wonder that the Su family's elders ordered him to kill Xia Ping at all costs. If such a person grew up, he would definitely be able to flatten the entire Su family. After going back, I must inform Big Brother immediately. Such a person cannot be left alive. I must eliminate him at all costs. Otherwise, the Su family will be in danger. Su Jianhua was determined. But in the next second, he was stunned because Xia Ping had already rushed over and appeared in front of him. A huge aura surged out and pressed down fiercely. It was as if Mount Tai was pressing down on him. He was so scared that he could not move. The surrounding king corpses were all afraid of the Buddhist light and fled. Their fear of death far exceeded their greed for the mysterious Yin fruit. They did not dare to stay in this dangerous place. Wait. Su Jianhua knelt on the ground and kowtowed desperately. Master Xia, spare me, spare my life. I was wrong. This time, I was really wrong. I should not have done such a thing. I should not have attacked you. If you spare my life, Su Jianhua can be your dog for the rest of my life. He kept kowtowing until blood flowed from his forehead, but he did not care at all. He was a dignified student of Yanhuang University, an expert at the ninth heaven of the martial warrior realm. He was only one step away from the martial master realm and becoming an elite student. Such a person, if returned to Earth, would be a general existence with authority. Even in a place like the Cloud Realm, he was an expert that could not be underestimated. Such a person could be called a proud son of heaven. But now, in order to live, he kowtowed to Xia Ping and wanted to be his dog. Xia Ping didn't say anything. He looked down at him from above, looking at him indifferently. Oh yes, you have offended my Su family and caused great trouble. If you have a spy like me in the Su family, you may be able to obtain a lot of information and be in an invincible position. You can even reconcile with the Su family through me. This is beneficial to both of us. If you want my treasures, I can give them to you. I can give them all to you. Su Jianhua continuously kowtowed and listed out many benefits, hoping that Xia Ping would spare his life. Suddenly, Su Jianhua, who was still kowtowing, revealed a trace of ruthlessness in his eyes. He instantly took out a sharp dagger and pounced forward like a jackal. He had calculated everything. Kowtowing and begging for mercy were just tricks. His real purpose was to use this kind of behavior to numb Xia Ping's nerves and make him relax a little. In his opinion, young geniuses like him were usually arrogant and conceited. No matter how cautious he was when he begged for mercy, there would always be a trace of hesitation in his heart. As long as there was a trace of hesitation, there would be an opportunity. He could take advantage of this gap to attack ruthlessly. With his strength of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm, the success rate of assassination was almost 100% at such a close distance. As long as he killed Xia Ping, he would be able to live. This was a sure kill attack. There was no hesitation. If Xia Ping didn't die, then Su Jianhua would die. Stupid. There was no fluctuation in Xia Ping's eyes. Under his spiritual force, Su Jianhua's movements could not be hidden. No small movements could be hidden from his perception. He knew what he wanted to do. Even if he didn't know, it didn't matter. With his northern dark body protection technique, the strength was not too strong. It couldn't penetrate his true chi layer. No matter how Su Jianhua attacked, he couldn't kill him. However, Su Jianhua didn't know this, which was doomed to his defeat. With a bang, he made a move in vain. A big hand slapped down from the air, like lightning, and the majestic true qi crushed down and enveloped Su Jianhua's body. Boom! Before Su Jianhua could pierce his heart with the dagger, his big hand slapped on the top of Su Jianhua's head. With a crack, the skull was broken and the 7 orifices were bleeding. This. Su Jianhua's eyes widened, and his pupils quickly showed the color of defeat. With a puff, he was slapped to the ground and died on the spot. Su Jianhua, dead. And the seeking bird was immediately scared and flapped its wings and fled quickly, but Xia Ping did not chase it. Anyway, it was just a bird and he didn't pay much attention to it. 10 minutes later, Xia Ping threw the corpses of Su Jianhua and the others into the valley. There would be countless zombies there, and it was estimated that they would soon be devoured completely, not even bones would be left. And the things on their bodies were also plundered by Xia Ping, and the profound Yin fruit was naturally in his hands. TSK, there are still geomagnetic mines on you. As expected of a senior student, he is really rich. Xia Ping found 7 or 8 geomagnetic mines from these people. If he wanted to exchange these geomagnetic mines in the school, he would need at least 7 or 8,000 points, but now they all belong to him. Fortunately, he had killed all the senior students who had geomagnetic mines from the very beginning, and they had not had the chance to use them at all. Otherwise, if these geomagnetic mines had exploded, even he would have had a headache. This was like a trump card. Not only is it extremely lethal to the undead creatures, it is also the same for humans. I also found a lot of high-level Yin Qi beads. Xia Ping also found a large number of high-level Yin Qi beads from more than a dozen senior students, adding up to at least 200 or 300 beads, worth 15,000 points. It is estimated that these are their gains in the Yin Corpse mountain range. However, the biggest harvest was still a mysterious Yin fruit. If I take this profound Yin fruit back and ask the school teacher to help me refine it, I can get at least 3 profound Yin pills, so I can quickly advance to the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm. Xia Ping knew that Yanhuang University also has a similar service. As long as you pay enough points and take out the main medicine, you can ask a teacher who is proficient in alchemy to help, and the alchemy teacher will also prepare the auxiliary medicine and so on. After all, it is really too wasteful to just take the profound Yin fruit. I didn't expect to get such a big harvest this time, I am really rich. Xia Ping is very satisfied, just these Yin Qi beads alone can be taken out to get a lot of points in the school. Is someone coming? Xia Ping's eyes flashed, he seems to sense the sound of someone appearing nearby, he does not want to come into contact with anyone in this place, in case of any accidents, he immediately left. 3 days later, in a cave in the Yin Corpse mountain range. Xia Ping continued to cultivate in this place for 3 days, absorbing the energy of the high-level Yin Qi beads, constantly stabilizing his martial arts cultivation and strengthening the true Qi in his body. After absorbing the energy of 200 or 300 high-level Yin Qi beads, he finally reached the peak of the 7th heaven of the martial warrior realm. It is time to go back. Chapter 339. Unfortunately, the high-level Yin Qi beads energy is no longer of any use to me. Xia Ping left the cave, as if he was flying, and ran out of the Yin Corpse mountain range. His whole body was surging with true qi, and like a super sports car, he was rampaging. Any zombie that dared to block him would be smashed into pieces. After a few days of cultivation, he constantly absorbed the energy of the high-level Yin Qi bead, transforming it into qi and tempering his body. He finally raised his cultivation to the peak of the 7th sky of the warrior realm. However, because he absorbed too much Yin Qi bead energy, his body developed a resistance to Yin Qi bead. No matter how much he absorbed, the high-level Yin Qi bead could not increase his qi. Fine, I'll give the rest of the high-level Yin Qi bead to the school and exchange them for points. In these 2 or 3 days, Xia Ping did not just cultivate. He also went around hunting corpse kings, entering the corpse king graveyard and plundering treasures. In the end, after a few days, he also obtained a large number of yin qi beads. There were high-level, middle-level and low-level yin qi beads. Adding them all up, he obtained a total of 50,000 points. Finally left. After running for more than an hour, Xia Ping finally left the Yin Corpse mountain range. Feeling the fresh air of the outside world, as well as the bright sunshine and vitality, he immediately felt incomparably comfortable. This kind of place was where humans should stay. In a space like the Yin Corpse mountain range, the Yin Qi was too heavy and lifeless. It was simply not a place for humans to stay. Beep beep. Suddenly, the smart watch on Xia Ping's hand rang. Someone was contacting him. He immediately opened it and the figure of a person appeared. It was Feng Hetang. Big brother, have you left the Yin Corpse mountain range? We have already returned to the Yin Corpse city. Feng Hetang asked. In the past few days, they had used the communication device to contact each other. They had agreed to return to Yanhuang University in a few days and now it was time. Xia Ping nodded, I have already left. You guys wait for me at the airport. With a snap, he hung up the communication device. 10 minutes later, he returned to the Yin Corpse city. He immediately saw Jiang Yaru, Chu Rong, Nangong Wu, and Feng Hetang waiting for him at the airport entrance. After a few days of training in the Yin Corpse mountain range, although Jiang Yaru and the others' qi cultivation did not increase, they were still at the third sky of the warrior realm. However, their essence, energy and spirit had greatly changed. If they were like flowers in a greenhouse before, then they now had a trace of the embryonic form of elite warriors, emitting a fearsome aura. What do you think? How's the harvest these days? Xia Ping asked curiously. Jiang Yaru faintly smiled, not too bad. After killing several hundred zombies, I also obtained 400 to 500 low-grade Yin energy beads. When I return to school, I should be able to exchange them for 400 to 500 points, which can be exchanged for some medicinal pills to aid my cultivation. For them, it was already a good harvest to be able to obtain hundreds of low-level Yin Qi beads. After all, they were only at the third heaven of the martial artist realm. If they wanted to deal with a monster at the level of the Zombie King, they did not know how far it was. For ordinary martial artists that entered the Evil Corpse mountain range, being able to preserve their lives was already not bad. Wanting to have a great harvest was also very difficult. Big brother, where are Su Jianhua and the others? Did they come looking for trouble with you? Feng Hetang asked in a low voice. Jiang Yaru and the others also looked at Xia Ping, very concerned about this point. I didn't see them. Maybe they were killed by some corpse king. Xia Ping said lightly. He did not intend to tell Feng Hetang and the others that he had killed Su Jianhua and the others. After all, the death of a group of Yanhuang University students was a big matter in the outside world. It would definitely be strictly investigated. This matter could not be leaked at all. If one more person knew, it would increase the risk of it being leaked. Moreover, Jiang Yaru and the others knowing about this matter was useless. Instead, it would only add to their worries. If that's the case, then that's great. Jiang Yaru and the others immediately felt relieved. Once they returned to Yanhuang University, no matter how fierce Su Jianhua and the others were, they would not dare to make a move in the university. They would also be safe. Let's go back. Xia Ping waved his hand. They immediately entered the airport and boarded his private flying ship, the Radiant God, and then flew towards Yanhuang University. After a few hours, they finally arrived at Yanhuang University. Xia Ping, you're finally back. When Xia Ping and the others left Yanhuang University's airport, suddenly a delicate shout came out. It was like a thunderclap, causing the surrounding people to be shocked. Outside the airport, there appeared 20 beautiful women. Each of their beautiful eyes were filled with anger. They stared at Xia Ping, who was walking towards them, as if they wanted to eat him alive. And the leader of this group of women was Su Ji. In order to find Xia Ping's whereabouts, they constantly sent people to monitor In Corp City. The result was very smooth. After they received the news that Xia Ping had returned to Yanhuang University, they immediately rushed to the airport and blocked Xia Ping's way. Su Ji. Isn't this the so-called #1 beauty among the freshmen, Su Ji? That's her. It's said that she was very famous during high school and became a campus idol. God knows how many men pursued her. She was ranked #1 on the list of beauties that she most wanted to date. Moreover, the number of votes she received was many times higher than the #1. Not only is she beautiful, but she's also very strong. She was ranked #2 in the freshman ranking competition. Now, she has even advanced to the 8th level of the fighter realm and will become a king realm expert in the future. But why does she look so angry right now? It seems like she has a belly full of fire. Could it be that she was abandoned by a man? Bullshit, who would abandon such a beauty? Is that man blind? Holy shit, I know that man. He's Xia Ping, the #1 newcomer in this year's freshman ranking competition, the fake Xia Ping. Fake Xia Ping. How does this guy know Su Ji? According to my brain that has an IQ of 300, there must be something fishy going on. Seeing this scene, the surrounding students were all discussing it. They all looked at this scene with incomparable curiosity. Some people even began to take photos and upload them to the internet. Big brother, when did you have an affair with Su Ji? Your efficiency in picking up girls is too high. Feng Hatong was dumbstruck. Jiang Yaru and the others were also speechless. They didn't know when Xia Ping and Su Ji got involved. Xia Ping. Su Ji walked up and stared at Xia Ping. Her beautiful eyes were filled with killing intent. Do you think you can run away? The monk can run but the temple can't. If you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about leaving. Her tone was resolute and decisive. Yes, don't even think about running. You've already done such a shameless thing. Do you think this kind of thing can be let go? If you don't give us an explanation, we won't let you off. The group of girls glared at Xia Ping. They had never suffered such a big loss in their lives. If they didn't punish this perverted thief, they would have suffered for nothing. Chapter 340. Shameless thing. What kind of shameless thing is that? Really stupid, you still can't figure it out. How did you get into Yanhuang University? That's right, looking at their angry faces, it's 100% because this Xia Ping did something wrong to them. Maybe he got in the car and ran away without paying. Bastard, this Xia Ping is definitely a bastard. So many women have been taken by him, is he still human? Doesn't that mean Su Ji also fell into this kid's evil hands? Is there still justice in this world? How did he do it? How did he do it? He definitely drugged them, otherwise how could these women agree? Xia Ping, bastard, I swear I will kill him. He actually dares to blaspheme my goddess, he wants to die, the entire Yanhuang University can't tolerate him. The surrounding students were all wailing, each and every one of them were glaring at Xia Ping, they simply couldn't suppress the anger in their hearts. Thinking that even their goddess Su Ji was eaten clean by this bastard, they wanted to go crazy, this kind of thing was really hard to accept. Jiang Yaru and the others were stunned, they were very clear of Xia Ping's character, he is not a man who would do such a thing, but what's with these women's anger? I didn't expect you to be so persistent, it's just a small matter, why are you so persistent? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows, faintly looking at Su Ji and the others, he could see with a glance that this group of women did not have good intentions. It must be known that for women, being peeped on is a shameful thing, ordinary people are not willing to make it public. If they want to deal with it, they will deal with it in a low-key way, secretly. But they are so high-profile, blocking his way in front of so many people. No matter how you look at it, these women's motive is actually not simple. Small matter. Hearing this, Su-ji was so angry that she laughed. For you, it's a small matter, but for us, it's a big matter. Don't think you can easily get away with it. The other women also stared at Xia Ping, being seen by another man. This kind of thing, for these virgin girls, is simply a disgrace. They can't just let it go like this. Alright, I was indeed in the wrong on this matter. Xia Ping rolled his eyes and put forward his own suggestion. Say, how much money do you want? If you can solve it with money, then it can't be better. Don't bother me in the future. He had a look of wealth on his face. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people instantly went into an uproar. Everyone was shocked. Shameless. He has committed such a heinous crime, and this bastard still wants to solve it with money? Absurd to the extreme. Does this bastard think that everything in this world can be solved with money? You're looking down on me. Although money is very useful, it is not omnipotent. You have harmed so many innocent women. You want to use money to shut these women's mouths. How could you do such a thing? I've long heard that this trash Xia Ping's family is very rich. He bribed the school's leader and went through the back door to become the new student's #1. He even bought a private spaceship. For this kid, money is simply a number, it's nothing. But I didn't expect this bastard's arrogance to be beyond our imagination. He wants to use money to settle it. This bastard is probably used to bullying men and taking women. He thinks that any woman can be settled with money. That's why he said such words. It's easy to imagine how bad this kid's character is. He's definitely a playboy. If placed in ancient times, he would be the last king of a generation, an incapable ruler, a prodigal son who buried the dynasty. The surrounding students all cursed and angrily glared at Xia Ping. Even if you beat them to death, they never thought that this Xia Ping was actually such a person. He's too hateful, too arrogant. You. Su-ji angrily glared at Xia Ping. She never thought that Xia Ping would say such words. Thinking about who she is the direct descendant of a dignified king's family, the new student's second strongest, a peerless beauty of her generation. As long as she casually beckons with her finger, a bunch of people will give her money. She doesn't even need to return it. When it comes to assets, she, Su-ji, has never been afraid of anyone. But this bastard is extremely arrogant. He actually wants to use money to settle this matter. It's like a street beggar throwing money at Jack Ma's face. He's looking down on people too much. Does he think I, Su-ji, am a beggar? You guys came to the airport to block me and mobilized a large number of people. Isn't it nothing more than money? Xia Ping revealed a rich and overbearing look and said, Xia Ping may not have much, but I have a lot of money. How much do you want? Just say the number and I'll immediately transfer the money. The efficiency is good. Of course, the amount of money can't be too excessive. After all, a person must know when to stop and when to stop. This is the common sense of society. I hope you understand. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking at these women. I'm so angry. This man is so infuriating. In my life, this is the first time I see a man who wants to beat him up. Scumbag to the extreme, shameless to the extreme. How can such a man live peacefully until now? Strike him to death. Why doesn't God send down a thunderbolt to strike him to death? Who do you think we are? Women who can do anything for money. He said to stop before going too far. This bastard is not only shameless but also stingy. If we really offer a high price, maybe he won't admit it. Instead, he will slander us for being greedy and taking advantage of everything. Everyone, don't stop me. If I don't cripple this bastard today, my future husband will be a naked man for the rest of his life. Hearing Xia Ping's words, the other women were angered half to death. Their lungs were almost about to explode. Their faces turned red. Although they have their own calculations, they didn't expect Xia Ping to say such words. One must know that although their family can't be compared to Su Ji's king's family, they can also be regarded as an aristocratic family. Their assets are more than 100 billion. If they want money, they can go to the bank. From childhood to adulthood, they have never been troubled by money. But this shameless Xia Ping actually treated them as money-hungry shrews. They came to the airport to cause trouble for money. He looked down on them too much. Jiang Yaru, Nangong Wu, and Chu Rong's mouth twitched. Although they knew in their hearts that Xia Ping was definitely acting, hearing these words, they also wanted to hammer him. It was too infuriating. Of course, what I mean is not that money can solve all the problems. Xia Ping said with a smile, but if money can solve this problem, then it couldn't be better. It's good for everyone. Shut up. Su Ji couldn't take it anymore. Her face turned red with anger. Her beauty was moving, and her figure was enchanting. Chapter 341. Seeing Su Ji's action, Xia Ping's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He stepped out and struck a palm in the air. Bang! A huge force bombarded the palm. The two collided with each other, and the ground was immediately blasted into a huge hole. Gravel splashed everywhere, and a crack appeared. What? Su Ji was surprised. She felt that her fist seemed to have no effect on Xia Ping. When she resisted the other's palm, her strength was constantly weakened, as if she was hitting cotton. She couldn't even make this kid take half a step back. This guy has become stronger. Su Ji immediately felt that Xia Ping's aura was completely different from last time. It seemed to have become more powerful. Even if she was a level higher than him, she had no chance of winning. Is that enough? Xia Ping looked at Su Ji with a smile and said, if you want to use your fist to solve the problem, I will accompany you to the end. You. Su Ji took a deep look at Xia Ping. She was very unwilling, but she also knew that continuing like this would not give her any advantage. She coldly snorted, this time you are lucky, but don't think that you can continue to be proud. After dropping this sentence, she turned and left. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Seeing this, the other girls also angrily stared at Xia Ping. All of them were very unwilling, but seeing that Su Ji had left, they also had to leave. It can't be, after making such a big fuss, it's over. How is this possible? I think this matter will be solved privately. But it's really incredible that the fake Xia Ping actually tarnished the #1 beauty Su Ji. This matter will definitely shake the entire Yanhuang University. I don't know how many people will go crazy. It has already been shaken. Now the internet is full of scolding. Those Su Ji fans all said that they must find Xia Ping to settle the account. They won't stop until the fake Xia Ping is beaten into a pig's head. It is said that the real #1 expert among the freshmen, Xiao Yishuan, is also Su Ji's pursuer. If he knows about this, he won't go crazy, right? Hee. In short, this kid will definitely not have a good end. It is estimated that he will become a mouse that everyone in Yanhuang University wants to beat. I don't know how long he can stay in Yanhuang University. The surrounding students discussed animatedly. They all looked at Xia Ping with schadenfreude, thinking that this kid had angered the public. They reckoned that he wouldn't be able to stay in Yanhuang University for long and would definitely be punished miserably. Let's go to the academic affairs office. Xia Ping couldn't be bothered to care about what the others thought. He immediately left. Jiang Yaru and the others also nodded and followed along. Because the administration office was the place responsible for handing over missions, they had obtained a lot of energy beads and needed to go to the administration office to exchange them for points. At this time, in a luxurious villa in Yanhuang University, Su Ji's residence. At this time, a group of women returned from the airport, but now, all of them were angry. That bastard called Xia Ping is too hateful. That's right, that's right. I've never seen such a despicable scumbag before. He actually wanted to bribe us with money and shut our mouths. He's simply crazy about this. Who does that bastard think we are? He thinks that we'll forget this matter just by casually throwing a few dollars at us. What a joke, he's too self-righteous. Sure enough, he's a country bumpkin from Yanhuang planet. He's used to being arrogant and despotic in Yanhuang planet. He thinks that in the cloud world, it will be like his family's territory, where he can do whatever he wants. If we don't teach that bastard a lesson, we won't be able to vent our anger at all. One by one, the girls grimaced and their beautiful eyes spewed fire. They were choked with anger by Xia Ping's words. It was estimated that they had never been so angry in their lives. It was simply unheard of, unseen. When ordinary men saw them, which one of them didn't come forward to curry favor, flatter, and be careful, for fear that they would be unhappy. But that kid was different. He wanted to use money to knock them unconscious. He was extremely domineering. Who did he think they were? Nightingales from the filthy land? Someone who could get on the bus just by paying money. It doesn't matter. After today's incident, that kid will definitely not have a good time. A girl wearing black-rimmed glasses said in a deep voice. Her glasses flashed with a strange light. Indeed. A tall girl also nodded. Before, some of the men who dared to approach Sister Sue were beaten half to death by a group of suitors. I don't know how miserable they were. Now that there's such a big scandal, it's estimated that this Xia Ping will be torn apart by those angry suitors. She had seen this kind of thing countless times. Some boys tried to pursue Su Ji, but before they could say a few words, they were caught by a group of fans, dragged to a remote alley, and beaten until they were beyond recognition. Even their mothers couldn't recognize them. Just a few words were already so serious. Now that there's such a big scandal, how could Xia Ping get any better? It was estimated that it would be difficult for him to stay in Yanhuang University. In fact, they deliberately stopped Xia Ping at the airport in order to expose this matter and let Su Ji's suitors teach Xia Ping a hard lesson. Now it seemed that this plan was extraordinarily smooth. There was no need for them to say anything. That kid automatically jumped into the trap. It was clear that he was courting death. Humph, he deserves such an end. If such a perverted thief continues to stay in Yanhuang University, I don't know how many girls will fall into his hands. He probably treats Yanhuang University as a place for those fireworks and willows. Indeed, according to that bastard's character, I don't know how many girls have been defiled in the past. Although we don't care about money, some girls do. Maybe they will fall into that bastard's trap. Yeah, although that bastard's means are very despicable, simple and crude, I have to say that it's very effective. With money, there will always be some girls who will fall into his hands. There's no other way. Most girls are clean, but some are shameless. But we don't need to worry about it in the future. After a while, I guess we can see that bastard begging for mercy. Humph, we can't let him go so easily. If we don't completely change his bad character, we absolutely can't forgive him. Otherwise, we don't know how much trouble he will cause in the future. Hee hee, I can't wait to see the scene of that arrogant bastard begging for mercy. Let's see if he still dares to say that he wants to solve it with money. If he still dares to say such words, I'll kick his third leg so that he can't even speak. Many of the girls discussed. Imagining that arrogant bastard begging them for mercy, they felt extremely comfortable. Chapter 342. An hour later, Xia Ping came out of the administration office. He had already handed over all his yin energy beads, earning a total of 53,753 points. Adding on the 10,000 points from before, he now had a total of 60,000 points. Jiang Yaru and the others also handed over their yin energy beads, each receiving 500 to 600 points. Afterwards, they returned to their dorms to rest. Xia Ping didn't return to his dorm, but instead planned to go to the medical center. He wanted to refine the blackine fruit into the blackine pill, and he needed the help of the alchemists here. Thus, he parted ways with Jiang Yaru and the others. So this is the medical center. 10 minutes later, Xia Ping took the school bus to the medical center. Although it was called a medical center, it wasn't just a hospital, responsible for treating patients. It was also the medical laboratory of Yanhuang University, responsible for researching all kinds of advanced medicines. For example, health potions and golden potions. The medical center had the most advanced medical equipment, as well as experimental equipment. It wasn't much worse than any large corporation. Naturally, it also gathered the most powerful researchers. The area is really huge. Xia Ping clicked his tongue in admiration as he looked at his surroundings. Just the medical center alone was no smaller than a small city. It was also divided into various departments, such as the hospital department, the pharmacy department, the pill department, the biochemistry department, and so on. The department he was heading to was the pill department, where all kinds of alchemists were gathered. Finally arrived at the pill department. After taking the bus, Xia Ping arrived at the pill department a few minutes later. He looked around and found that the building of the pill department was completely different from the other buildings. It wasn't made of reinforced concrete, and it didn't have a sci-fi feel to it. It was completely antique, and the surroundings were made of huge stone buildings. It was like a huge ancient castle, and the surroundings were filled with an enchanting medicinal fragrance. There are a lot of students here. Xia Ping arrived in front of the castle and found many students going in and out. The entrance was heavily guarded, and one needed to verify their identity before they could enter. Otherwise, they would be stopped by the student guards. He knew that these students should be from the pill department, because Yanhuang University didn't only recruit fighters, but also many researchers. Even though researchers did not have powerful battle prowess, they were extremely intelligent. They were responsible for researching all sorts of biological technologies and refining all sorts of top-grade medicinal pills. They were an indispensable part of human society, and their status was also very high. The guards at the entrance of the castle were all students. They were at least at the 7th firmament of the martial artist realm and above. Most of them were senior students. They worked as guards for the elixir department and earned school points at the same time. However, don't look down on being a guard in this place. In fact, being a guard in the pill department was a lucrative job. Who knew how many students wanted to be a guard but didn't have the opportunity to do so? As a guard in the medicinal pill department, he would have the opportunity to come into contact with the medicinal pill department's apprentice alchemists, master alchemists, and so on. If he could gain the friendship of these people and then embezzle some medicinal pills and spirit herbs from them, the benefits would be countless. This was much better than leaving Yanhuang University and painstakingly hunting monsters. There was no risk and extremely high profits, so it naturally became the first choice of many students. The problem was that such a position was too popular, and people without a background were not qualified to get it. Look, isn't that the fake Xia Ping? Yeah, I'd recognize that kid even if he turned into ashes. He's already famous at Yanhuang University. How can he not be famous? Even a great beauty like Su Ji was poisoned by this kid, and her chastity was taken away by him. Now I don't know how many students want to kill this kid, dismember his body, and dismember his body into 10,000 pieces. What? There's actually such a thing. Su Ji is a direct descendant of the king's family. How dare he do such an evil thing? Isn't he afraid of being destroyed by the Su family? It is said that this Xia Ping's background is also very deep. His family is very rich, and he even tried to use money to settle this matter. What a beast! He has already drugged a girl, and he still wants to use money to settle this matter. This method is too skilled. How many such heartless things has that bastard done? There are rumors on the internet. It is said that when Xia Ping was in Yanhuang Star, he was already a famous playboy. He was known as the 10,000 Beheader. Every night, he was a groom. He often robbed women on the street, causing the people of Yanhuang Star to seethe with resentment, but no one dared to provoke him. Damn it, he harmed the women of Yanhuang Star, and now he wants to harm the Cloud Realm? He's too bold. Is his background really so hard that no one can afford to offend him? In short, if there are any beautiful sisters, quickly hide. Otherwise, if they are targeted by this beast, I'm afraid their innocence will be gone the next day. Now the entire Yanhuang University is in a state of panic. Everyone is in danger. Of course, there's no need to worry if they are ugly. This is a powerful weapon to repel perverts. Many students were talking and immediately looked at Xia Ping, who was walking from a distance. Their eyes were strange, and they looked at this legendary beast with contempt. Some people even wanted to rush over and beat Xia Ping, but they were also worried about Xia Ping's mysterious background and did not dare to do so. That kid is the new student Xia Ping. He just entered the university and he's already stirring up such a storm. He's very high profile. Humph, Yanhuang University is full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. There are countless capable people. A freshman dares to be so arrogant. Too hard is easy to break. There are many people with a background. Even if he comes from a king's family, he can't be tyrannical. Such a playboy will be cleaned up sooner or later. Seeing this situation, some guards and seniors sneered. They crossed their arms and looked at Xia Ping in the distance with disdain. They did not take Xia Ping seriously at all. Stop! A senior suddenly shouted at Xia Ping, who came to the door, "This is the elixir department. Unrelated people are not allowed to come near. Whoever dares to trespass will be killed." He looked at Xia Ping coldly, and a terrible murderous aura surged from his body. "I'm here to find an alchemy master to refine elixir pills." Xia Ping stated his purpose. He could see that this senior was strong and had the strength of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm. He was above many freshmen. "The master is not here now. You can go back. We'll talk in a few days." The senior waved his hand and wanted to send Xia Ping away. The others sneered. They knew that this senior was clearly making things difficult for Xia Ping. After all, there were countless alchemy masters in the elixir department. Even if one was not here, there would still be others. Xia Ping furrowed his brows and said coolly, "You guys have some guts to even dare to stop me from entering the medicinal pill department. Who gave you this kind of authority? You are just gatekeepers. Don't take a chicken feather as an arrow. If I report this to the Academic Affairs Office, all of you will have to bear the consequences. This is dereliction of duty." His voice was very cold. Since the other party was not polite, he would not have a good attitude. "How dare you?" The senior's eyes were cold. He snorted coldly, "I don't think you are here to find an alchemy master. You are here to cause trouble. Wait until I capture you and interrogate you. Let's see what your purpose is." As soon as he finished speaking, he blasted a punch at Xia Ping. It was extremely ruthless. Chapter 343. Zephyr Fist. As soon as he punched out, a terrifying gust of wind exploded in the air, forming countless streams of energy that gathered together to create an extremely terrifying force that could destroy anything. Even a rock that weighed hundreds of tons would be smashed into powder by this punch. Its power was terrifying. Furthermore, this Zephyr Fist had the power to rotate and penetrate. Even if a normal martial artist cultivated a protective technique, their protective chi would still be broken and their internal organs would be injured. They would not be able to block it. Obviously, this senior student was ruthless when he attacked, and he wanted to heavily injure Xia Ping. Hee, that kid is unlucky. Who doesn't know that those senior students are usually overbearing and arrogant? They are all old foxes and are not afraid of the school rules at all. They have been in the school for a long time and are familiar with all kinds of school rules. They know that even if they fight in the school, as long as they don't kill anyone, they can solve the problem by paying some points. But this kid is doomed. Meeting these unruly senior students, he will definitely be beaten up badly. He might even have to lie in the hospital for a month. But he deserves it. The surrounding students were all talking about it as if they were watching a good show. Some of the senior guards stood high and mighty with arrogant expressions on their faces. They looked at Xia Ping with eyes filled with ridicule. So what if this kid was the champion of the freshman ranking competition? He had just entered the academy after all. How could he compare to them, the senior students? Now they wanted to teach this new student a lesson and let them know that they were not qualified to do whatever they wanted in Yanhuang University. They should respect and fear the senior students and teach them some principles. This was killing the chicken to scare the monkey. Too arrogant. Xia Ping's eyes showed a trace of anger. He had originally only wanted to find someone to refine pills for him and did not want to cause trouble. But these people were so ruthless as soon as they met. They really thought he was a soft persimmon that they could pinch as they pleased. With a boom, he directly punched out. All the qi in his body vibrated and his fist smashed out. The air seemed to vibrate thousands of times as it emitted the aura of an ancient beast. Bang! With just one touch, the fist force and wind were immediately shattered by Xia Ping's fist. They were torn apart inch by inch and exploded in the air, making a rumbling sound. The surrounding people felt a burst of pain in their eardrums. The qi vibrated and swept in all directions. They could not help but take more than 10 steps back to barely withstand the impact. How is this possible? The senior student was shocked. The punch that he was determined to win had the power of the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm. Even the top freshman would not be a match for him. However, that brat had broken his attack with just a single punch. It was simply terrifying. Oh no! However, before he could recover from his shock, he immediately felt a wave of danger approaching. His hair stood on end because that brat's left fist smashed over. It was as if a violent bear had stood up, shaking the mountain forest. It contained a berserk power that was enough to tear apart all prey. At this time, he was simply unable to block, because the speed of the fist was simply too fast. He had only just seen the opponent's fist, and the Void's Shin-Chi fist blasted over, solidly hitting his chest. Dong! There was an explosion in midair, and the senior student was sent flying. He spat out a mouthful of blood in midair like a fountain, splattering on the ground. 5 or 6 of his ribs were broken. With a thud, he flew for dozens of meters before finally falling to the ground. His face was deathly pale, and intense pain spread throughout his body. He couldn't help but let out a mournful scream. Bastard, you actually dare to attack. Sure enough, you are here to make trouble. Let's go together and capture this bastard. Teach him some rules. This is not a place where he can behave atrociously. When they saw such a situation occur, the group of senior students at the entrance were instantly enraged. Hitting a senior student was equivalent to slapping their faces, and it was an insult to their dignity. If they let this brat leave unscrupulously, then what face would these senior students have? They were afraid that they would become a joke in the entire school. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Immediately, more than a dozen senior students attacked together. At least they were experts in the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm. Among them, there were also 5 or 6 experts in the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm. Each of them was a martial arts elite. They all attacked together, wanting to beat Xia Ping half to death. Rumble Zhen-Chi vibrated, and attacks appeared in midair. Some were violent punches, some were blade qi that could tear everything apart, some were powerful footwork that could sweep away thousands of soldiers, and some were invincible sword qi. A series of terrible attacks poured down like a flood. The air exploded one after another, and the killing intent vibrated, almost completely drowning Xia Ping's body. If he was hit by this move, he would definitely fall to the ground with serious injuries and may not recover for several months. The surrounding students were shocked to the extreme. They retreated again and again for fear of being affected. Their hearts were inexplicably shocked. This Xia Ping actually dared to offend so many senior students. He was simply courting death. It was estimated that after receiving such an attack, he would definitely be carried away today. Buddha's palm. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a glimmer of light. He used the Kunpeng steps and densely packed figures appeared in his place. Each figure was covered with golden Zhen Qi, like a Buddha, exuding a grand, compassionate and other aura. At this moment, he seemed to have 3 heads and 6 arms. Dense palm prints appeared in midair. Each palm print seemed to be branded in midair, containing the great power of subduing demons. With a palm strike, the sky was filled with golden light. The qi was violent and invincible. It was like setting off an earth-shattering gale. Countless cracks appeared on the ground. Bang bang bang. The shockwaves in the air were instantly shattered by the violent palm power. The terrifying palm power traveled through the air, vibrating thousands of times before slamming into the bodies of the senior students. In an instant, it pierced through their protective true energy. It was simply like a Buddha slapping a huge palm print on their chest. It was impossible to resist. Ah ah ah. A group of senior students let out shrill screams. Their bodies were like straw, directly slapped out. They flew for a full 100 meters before falling to the ground, coughing up blood. One by one, they screamed in pain. More than a dozen of their ribs were broken. Even their lungs were severely injured. Their eyes revealed an extremely frightened expression. It seemed that they could not believe that they were actually so vulnerable. Are you kidding? Just one move and he beat those senior students like dead dogs. They are simply vulnerable. How is this possible? A freshman was dumbfounded and could not believe his eyes. After all, such a scene was too exaggerated. They could not imagine it at all. Strange, didn't they say that this kid is only at the 5th heaven of the martial artist realm? What is going on now? At least 7 acupoints have been opened and he has reached the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm. Could it be that his cultivation has made great progress during this period of time? Nonsense, even driving a spaceship can't improve so quickly. The information is wrong. The information must be wrong. If this kid has the cultivation of the 7th heaven of the martial artist realm, it may not be impossible for him to become the top freshman. Chapter 344. How about it? Don't you want to fight anymore? Xia Ping looked down at the group of senior students who had fallen to the ground with his hands behind his back. Do you think that after staying in school for a few years, you are invincible and can bully the freshmen at will just because you have a deep cultivation of vital energy? I can tell you that you are not qualified. What? Hearing this, the group of senior students almost exploded with anger and their faces turned red. They had been cultivating at Yanhuang University for 2 to 3 years and had finally advanced to the peak of the martial artist realm. Apart from the elite students, they were the strongest, but this kid actually dared to say such a thing, saying that they were not qualified at all. It was too insulting. However, they had nothing to say. In the face of the freshmen who had just entered school, they relied on their strong cultivation and even attacked together, but they were defeated by the other party with one palm. Such a failure could not be explained with any reason. It was purely because the gap in strength was too big. Still not convinced? Xia Ping glanced at them. Is it wrong to say that you are not qualified? To tell you the truth, you have been cultivating in school for a few years, but you have cultivated for nothing. You have learned nothing. You want to teach me some rules. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? Trash that can be crippled with a single palm strike still dares to strut around in front of me? Tell me, are you not trash? He looked down at the senior students from above. Those seniors were so angry that their faces alternated between red and purple like pig liver. They had never suffered such humiliation in their entire lives. Moreover, they were humiliated by a mere freshman. They were extremely aggrieved, but they could not say anything at all. So many of them had been crippled by the other party. What right did they have to say such a thing? They were afraid that after today, they would all become the laughing stock of the school. "Kid, don't go too far," a senior student shouted, unable to bear the humiliation. With a bang, Xia Ping's palm landed solidly on the senior student's face. It immediately left a 5-fingered red mark on the senior student's face and sent him flying. He spun 5 or 6 times in the air before falling to the ground. When he fell to the ground, his whole face was red and swollen, and even 2 or 3 teeth had fallen out. "Too much. You are the ones who are too much." Xia Ping sneered. "I, an unarmed person, came to the medicine department, just to pay a visit to the alchemy master, spend some points, and ask the alchemy master to help me refine pills. But what about all of you? You're nothing more than watchdogs. Each and every one of you uses a chicken feather as a token of authority, arrogant and despotic. You don't put me in your eyes at all. You immediately attack me, and if you can't beat a single person, you attack as a group. If I didn't have some ability, I would have been beaten to death by you guys long ago. How could I still be talking here? Right now, I'm only slightly crippling you and teaching you some principles of how to be a person. Yet, you still say that I'm going overboard? You can tell me loudly, is what I'm doing too overboard?" He stared at the group of senior students, and his aura crushed down fiercely, oppressing them to the point that they couldn't even breathe. The other spectating students were also speechless. These seniors had brought this upon themselves. "How about this? I'm a very benevolent person." Xia Ping suggested, "It's very simple to resolve this matter. Each of you break one of your legs and kowtow to me as an apology. Then, I'll forgive you this once. Of course, just this once. If you dare to be disrespectful to me again, I'll cripple you directly. I'll beat you up so badly that even your mothers won't be able to recognize you. Do you understand? You." Hearing these words, the faces of the group of senior students flushed red. They were so angry that they felt like their lungs were about to explode. Asking them to kowtow and apologize, and breaking one of their legs? How was this forgiving them? This was clearly humiliating them. If they really did this, then they would truly become a laughingstock. How could they continue to survive in a place like Yanhuang University? "Stop, what you're doing is a little too overboard. You beat up seniors and want them to break one of their legs and kowtow to you as an apology. No matter what, this is a little too overboard." Right at this moment, a person walked out from the elixir department. He was dressed in white, and his eyebrows were like swords. He had an elegant demeanor, and his body exuded a graceful and luxurious aura, just like an elegant young master. When he walked over, he was like a king with an unparalleled aura. It was as if there was a light on his body that no one could ignore, and he automatically became the focus of the crowd. "Who the hell are you?" Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and felt the dangerous aura from this person. Although the other party was only at the 8th heaven of the martial warrior realm, he was much stronger than those seniors who were at the 9th heaven of the martial warrior realm. This was a true genius. "Xiao Yishuan from the Xiao family," the young man in white said. His voice was as gentle as jade, but every word was incomparably clear to everyone's ears, showing his unfathomable genuine qi cultivation. "He's Xiao Yishuan." "That's right, I've seen his photo on the internet. It's indeed him. Now there's a good show to watch." It's said that Xiao Yishuan is the real #1 among the freshmen this time, and this Xia Ping is just a fake. He got first place by going through the back door. When the real #1 and the fake #1 meet, it's like a comet colliding with planet Yanhuang. I heard that Xiao Yishuan is also pursuing Su Ji, and that Xia Ping actually had that kind of relationship with Su Ji. You can imagine how angry Xiao Yishuan is now. I reckon he can't wait to tear Xia Ping apart. Hee, now there's a good show to watch. The surrounding students discussed and became excited all of a sudden. Some people even secretly took photos and uploaded this matter to the internet because this matter was really too important. You want to stand up for these people? A freshman is standing up for the seniors. This is a bit interesting. Xia Ping looked at Xiao Yishuan indifferently. The group of seniors were extremely sullen and ashamed to the point that they wanted to immediately bury their heads in the ground. They, the seniors, actually had to rely on another freshman to save them. It was simply shameful. I'm not going to talk nonsense with you. Now, I'll only give you two choices. Xiao Yishuan ignored Xia Ping's attempt to drive a wedge between them. He raised two fingers and said, one is to kneel down immediately, kowtow to these seniors, apologize, and then get out of here. The other is to be crippled by me. Remember, you want to get out, not walk out. If you dare to use your legs to walk, then I'll personally break both of your legs so that you can only sit in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. He revealed an unquestionable tone, as if he was a high and mighty emperor. Once he gave an order, everyone had no choice but to obey. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked at Xiao Yishuan. Get out, don't be an eyesore here. Chapter 345. Bang! Xiao Yishuan's qi hit Xia Ping's body and was immediately blocked by a wave of genuine qi. It was instantly disintegrated by Dark North body protection technique. It could not cause any harm to Xia Ping at all. It could not even make him take half a step back. What? Seeing this scene, Xiao Yishuan was also a little surprised. One must know that even a casual attack just now contained violent power. Ordinary experts in the ninth heaven of the martial artist realm would be sent flying by this power. But now Xia Ping was only in the seventh heaven of the martial artist realm. He could actually easily resist it without any effort. You asked me to get out and you still want to stand up for these people? Xia Ping's eyes revealed a dangerous light and he sneered, you are a little too arrogant. You must know your place. Don't overestimate yourself. He warned Xiao Yishuan. Shut up. Who am I? It's not your turn to say. Since you don't know how to appreciate favors, then I will cripple you and teach you a lesson. I will let you know what's good for you. Hearing these words, Xiao Yishuan was immediately furious. His eyes were filled with flames of anger and his whole body was trembling with anger. Since young, who dared to say such words to him? Who was Xiao Yishuan? He was the direct descendant of the Xiao family, a king family. He had the bloodline of the Pegasus. His talent was one of the best in Yanhuang University. Once he was born, he was favored by the heavens. He was carefully cultivated by the king family. He was invincible in his life. Even the elders of the family would not give him face and speak kindly. But this kid, not only did he not have the slightest respect, but he was also extremely arrogant. He actually dared to let him know his place. Don't overestimate yourself. Who did this bastard think he was? A king realm expert. Bang! He took a step forward and the genuine qi in his body surged out. The surrounding air vibrated and condensed into a substance, as if it had turned into a sea. There was a crashing sound and the ground was shaking at this moment. A pair of transparent wings suddenly appeared on his back. He exuded an unattainable aura, like a god. The surrounding air was stirred by the wings, forming a vortex. Extreme Wind Blade Fist. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Yishuan punched out, stirring up the air. His vital energy surged out, causing the air around him to condense and turn into sharp wind blades. They continuously sliced through the surroundings, making sizzling sounds. The wind blades condensed into substance and were extremely sharp. Even steel would be sliced into pieces if it came into contact with these wind blades. Their power was 10 times more terrifying than that of a cutting machine. At this moment, hundreds and thousands of wind blades flew towards Xia Ping, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. If one was struck by these wind blades without any defense, his body would immediately be minced into meat paste and cut into countless pieces. Too strong. The surrounding students were all shocked. The older students who had fallen to the ground were also dumbfounded. If it was just ordinary wind blades, perhaps it wouldn't be so terrifying. After all, there were too many of them, and this would cause the power of the wind blades to be too scattered, causing the power of the wind blades to be insufficient and unable to harm the enemy. However, under Xiao Yishuan's control, every wind blade seemed to be controlled almost perfectly. Not a single bit of power leaked out. It could be said that Xiao Yishuan's degree of control over his vital energy was already exquisite. Because of that, each of the wind blades had terrifying destructive power. When hundreds and thousands of them attacked, even a monster with great defense would be cut into pieces. Scram! A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes, and he immediately let out a roar. Unique skill 8 Heavenly Dragon's music. Woo! Goo! Ba! Ma! Ah! 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 Suddenly, 8 Heavenly Dragon's music vibrated in the air, forming a terrifying sound wave. It was like hundreds of volcanoes erupting at the same time, shaking the air and blasting towards Xiao Yishuan. Bang bang bang! Immediately, the sound wave swept over and collided with thousands of wind blades. After thousands of vibrations, the wind blades were shattered into pieces. Countless cracks appeared on the ground, and gravel flew everywhere. How is this possible? Xiao Yishuan was shocked. His extreme wind blade fist had been cultivated to the acme of perfection. Even an ordinary expert in the 9th heaven of the martial artist realm would not be able to withstand it and would be killed with one punch. However, just a loud roar from the other party had broken all of them, and the wind blades were shattered. Oh no! Xiao Yishuan suddenly felt a strong sense of danger. He sensed that after Xia Ping let out a loud roar, he was not going to let him go. He took a step forward and punched out as fast as lightning. Such a punch was like the birth of a primordial fierce beast, and it exploded with a horrifying aura. Dong! Xiao Yishuan had just set up his defense, and was operating the defensive skill in his body, but the punch hit his body, and a flood-like power exploded. With a bang, the genuine chi protection on his body was shattered. The huge power penetrated his body, and he was pushed back dozens of meters, and a long crack appeared on the ground. Puff! With a sound, Xiao Yishuan could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Obviously, his lungs were injured by the punch just now. It can't be. This is Xiao Yishuan, an expert in the 8th heaven of the martial artist realm. He is known as the number one among the freshmen. Even the older students are no match for him. Some people think that in a few months, he will definitely become an elite student, but now he was actually pushed back by Xia Ping with one punch, and he even bled. A student was shocked and could not help but shout. Didn't they say that this Xia Ping is a fake? The number one among the freshmen, did he get it through the back door? What exactly is going on now? Even Xiao Yishuan is not a match for him. This joke is too big. If Xiao Yishuan is not a match for him, then his strength is real. No one is a match for him, and he is the true number one. Just now, a group of older students joined forces, but they were still beaten by Xia Ping like dead dogs. From this, we can see that Xia Ping's strength is definitely not an undeserved reputation. He is a real monster. If such a person is still a fake, then what are we? Are we not even trash? The surrounding students were all dumbfounded. They were shocked to the extreme by such a battle scene. The impact was too great. Who would have thought that a legendary fake would be so powerful? Even Xiao Yishuan was forced back by one punch from him and even vomited blood. Martial strength was different from literature. There was no standard for judging literature. There were 1,000 Hamlets in 1,000 people. However, the strength of a martial artist was obtained through fighting. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. There was no room for deception. Seeing the scene in front of them, no one could doubt Xia Ping's strength anymore. If they were not convinced, they could go up and try to see if they could defeat more than 10 older students with their bare hands. With one punch, they could make an expert like Xiao Yishuan vomit blood and retreat continuously. Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and looked at Xiao Yishuan indifferently. Known as the number one among the freshmen. King family. And you want me to get out? With such strength, you still have the cheek to say that?